The Z to Z Podcast.
Good morning, good evening, or good day, and welcome to the Z to Z Podcast, the home for Xbox achievement hunters and Gamerscore junkies. I'm your host, Brandon Freeman. Thank you so much for listening. At Z to Z, we love gaming, and in particular, grabbing achievements and gaining Gamerscore. We do news, reviews, and interviews. If it's about achievements, we'll unlock it. You can find show notes for this show, as well as previous shows, on our website, z2z.com. This is episode 125. You can also contact us with questions or comments on Twitter, at Z2Z, Z-E-D-T-O-Z-E-D, or at our forums, forum.z2z.com, or email us directly, contact@z2z.com. Well, it is the start of May, first episode. Well, I guess technically we released in the first part of May, but come on, that's not even... We didn't start the month at that point, and we certainly didn't have our random to-do lists going. But it is May. We are in... the weather is finally nice. The allergies are in full effect. I was going to talk at length about it. No, I wasn't going to talk at length about them, but I am suffering from them like most people, just like our guest. But before we get to that, we have Proulx with us. How are you doing, Proulx?
I'm doing good. You know, it's actually really, really hot here. Not a lot of allergy issues this year for me, but it was like 90 degrees today. It was much.
Hot stuff. That's fantastic. And then we have on the complete other side of the world, well, you know, because U.S. is the world as far as we're concerned, West Coast style, it is Kingsman 2625. How are you doing, Kingsman?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic.
Wonderful. That's great to hear. Also suffering from allergies like myself, which I don't get because, it was so cold here for a while. Like, I don't even understand where these plants even had time to pollinate because it's been freezing. Like the other day, so my son, now that baseball started, my son wanted to get up his little, pitchback thing, like the net that you can throw a ball at and it bounces back to you. And so I went out there to, they got these, 8-inch, stakes that go into the ground to hold it into the ground. And so I put it in my grass, and I start tapping these things down. I get 2 of them in there, and then I go to the other side. I start tapping those down, and it's like they just get stuck. And I'm like, oh, there's so many rocks in my, under the dirt underneath my grass. Like, it's just the worst soil here. And so I move it over some more. Another rock. And it's just, I keep hitting these rocks, and finally, after about 5 minutes, it dawns on me, oh, no, that's not rocks. The ground is still frozen 6 inches down. So I'm actually hitting dirt ice. So I can't even get these stakes in the ground. It's still cold here below the surface. Now, granted, the weather is beautiful, and so I guess I shouldn't complain too much. But let's get the show started here. The biggest plan for the show is, and that's why we have Kingsman here, is to talk Sea of Thieves. We will put a bow on the April game of the month and have a big extended chat with probably our most savvy pirate, the privateer of us all, who spent clearly the most time on the open sea. But before we do that, why don't we talk about some of the games that we've been playing, what we've been up to, and we'll start with you, Kingsman. Just, in general, what have you been up to the past couple of weeks? Anything fun? You play any good games? We are an achievement-based show in theory, so, if you could focus on those, it'd be even better. But we'd love to hear about it. What do you got?
Well, as everyone probably have already heard about my RTDL incident, I've kind of taken a step back from pursuing kind of hardcore the rest of those achievements, and started playing games for, I'm not going to use the word, but the F word.
Nice.
And, yeah, so went back, played a little bit of Battlefield 3, played a little bit of a game that I picked up during that last sale, Infinity Runner.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of interesting. I'm kind of excited to kind of go back into it and just play it just to play it. Not really.
It's not that long of a completion, is it?
No, well, hard to say. I don't really look at the time completion things and take them seriously.
Freem, it literally has infinity in the title. It's never going to be complete. Are you paying attention at all, or what?
It's supposed to be an endless runner, yeah. And I finished up at least the main story for Disney's Brave, and then played a little bit of Bard's Gold. I was halfway done with it to begin with, and so it's the game of the month, so I decided to finish it.
Nice. And so you're halfway done with that?
No, I'm done. I finished it.
You did finish it?
Yeah, every single achievement completed.
So, all right, well, you said you didn't really pay much attention to time to complete, but what did it take you to complete Bard's Gold, do you know?
You can get every single achievement, except for one of them, within an hour.
Oh, nice. Is that skill-based or just... Okay.
Yeah, but after the first couple levels, you know all of the tricks that you need. And there's a different enemy kind of in each world, but if you take it slow, and don't go into it super fast. Just be methodical about it, and you can easily do everything within the hour. The only one that takes a while to do is the 50,000 gem collection.
Okay. Is that like a real serious grind, or is that...
No, it's really maybe 4 or 5 hours, maybe.
Okay. Trying to plan out, get this concept in my mind about what's going to happen on Sunday when I stream this for the first time.
Do you know how much TA has you tracked on it, Kingsman?
TA tracked me for 7 to 8 hours, I think, but I did a lot of idling, just letting it sit there while I went and cooked dinner or, whatever.
Yeah, I have 8 hours tracked on it, and that does seem a little excessive, but I honestly, from what I remember, and it's been a month and a half since I played it, I think an hour is underselling it a little bit, I would say. I'd say maybe 5 hours. 4 or 5 hours is probably right where you're going to end up being.
Exactly. For collecting the 50,000 gems, it's going to take about 5 hours to get all the achievements. But again, you can get every achievement but that one within an hour.
Is it like Geometry Wars?
No.
Where, in theory, you can get that in 20 minutes or something, but you have to be amazing at the game?
Yeah, if you're good at platformers, you can absolutely do it, all the achievements, except for the one within the hour, if you're good at platformers.
Ooh, well, see, I guess. Something tells me I'm not good enough, but...
Challenge is on, Freem. Let's get you done in 45 minutes.
But again, that's obviously the Game of the Month game, so I don't want to talk about that too much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But in terms of other games, I just wanted to get a couple of the achievements for the Gamertag Challenge out of the way. So I played a little Turn On, Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia, played Teslagrad again, Medal of Honor Airborne, and today is May 4th.
Yes, it is.
Had to start Star Wars The Force Unleashed, and pleasantly surprised so far with it. Quite enjoying that.
It's quite good, right? It's quite good.
I like it. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Is that Kinect based?
No.
Okay.
No.
There is a Kinect one though, right?
There's Kinect Star Wars, but that's unrelated to The Force Unleashed. So.
Yeah, no, because we got both Force Unleashed for Games with Gold at one point, right?
Yeah, almost a month after the next.
Yeah, they're really solid games. Even the second one is while it's a little bit less as widely regarded, it's still quite good. It's a little bit shorter. There's some issues there, but the base experience is really enjoyable. So I'd stick with it, man. They're really good games.
Can you get that completed relatively straightforward?
The second one or the first one?
Either.
TA has the first one at 15 to 20 hours, excluding DLC.
Yeah.
Oh, it's DLC crap. I'm trying to think because I don't have a game planned out for my my Freemhole's completion challenge because one of them is a Star Wars game, and so I haven't yet picked which Star Wars game I'm going to try to complete.
Ooh, this is fun. Fun on the fly challenge, easiest Star Wars game. Oh, it's got to be a Lego Star Wars game. It wouldn't be the complete.
Not the complete saga.
It wouldn't be the complete saga. God,
is it that new Force Awakens one?
I haven't played it yet. I haven't
either, but you did?
I'll let you know at the end of the month when I finish.
Yeah. I don't know. There's not any super easy, quick Star Wars games that I can think of.
So here's okay. So this is where I'm torn, and it sucks because I'm the creator of the contest, so I can kind of do whatever I want. But like in my head, I'm thinking, what if I finish Disney Infinity 3? Like, that's kind of a Star Wars game, right?
No, that doesn't count.
I'm going to side with Proulx on this one. I think that's cheating.
I will overrule you, even though I have nothing to do with that competition.
But like the story mode in that is Star Wars.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm actually looking at the list now, and there's not actually, surprisingly enough, for how big Star Wars is, there's not really a good option.
Yeah.
I guess you could. I was going to say Angry Birds Star Wars might be your best bet.
Oh, gross. That sounds awful.
I don't know about...
Still not a short completion.
No.
Let's see. Star Wars The Clone Wars looks like it's probably pretty easy. They say around 11 to 12 hours, it looks like. I haven't played it, but that's probably your second best option.
Yeah. I don't know. Is that on Games Pass? How
I just had it open. It is not, but it's on sale for $10. So there you go.
Oh, man. Is there a new Star Wars sale? Did I miss that?
Yeah. They're doing a May the 4th thing. So, yeah. Almost all the Star Wars games are on sale right now. Yep.
Interesting.
If the DLC's on sale, you should grab them.
Awesome. Actually, Kingsman, you haven't been on the show before, have you?
Nope, first time.
Fantastic. We're happy to have you here. We should get to know you a little bit. Because I've been told in the past we don't, even though we say we interview people, that we don't. I'm like, we have new gamers on all the time. So let's learn about what makes the Kingsman tick. And I want to start with, because you were just talking about getting some completions out of the way. Do you fancy yourself a completionist, or do you not really care? How do you approach your gaming?
2 years ago, I didn't care about completions. And then I found a little site called True Achievements, and my life changed forever.
In a good way or a bad way?
Well, yet to be determined. So, yeah, now I care about completions. I'm hovering around 80%. I do not like starting new games unless I'm going to use them for a community challenge, random to-do list, or gamer tag challenge.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I won't start them. So I really, unless it's also like a let's say Red Dead Redemption 2. I'll play that one obviously when it comes out. But otherwise, sure. I want to complete games and then move on.
How many? Do you have a decent size of a pool of completed games, or where do you stand?
150 or so completions.
That's
not a
darn
lot.
Good.
Not a lot, but.
Oh, here's the real question: what's your stance on DLC?
If you own it, you have to include it.
Oh,
one of those people.
That's a halfway measure. Is all I'm saying.
I know. I've debated this with myself for a long time, and I don't think it's fair. Some of this DLC is just too expensive. It's $40 for, let's say, some Destiny, DLC and whatnot. And I'm like,
sure.
I can't come to grips to include that. I don't think that's fair. But if you did buy it, and you got at least that one achievement in it, then yeah, you have to include that in a completion.
Well, I would say that it's, you would have been better off not putting Destiny on your tag in the first place anyways, but I'm just getting under frame skin at that point. But
I agree.
What's nice is, what's actually really nice is it seems to be that they're finally settling into a place where DLC is on sale fairly frequently now. So, it is nice, there's a long time where, it was set at that price, and maybe once every other year you get some sort of a weird sale for DLC. Now it seems to be pretty frequently that you're getting season passes on sale, for half off or whatever. And so, but yeah, I can understand it. I can understand the attitude of, that's a lot. That's a lot on top of what you've already spent for these games. Yeah. But to be the purist in the room, I would say, yeah, it's part of the game. But,
I'm with you too,
yeah.
Proulx.
I didn't used to wait. I wait usually until like a gold edition comes out to be on sale that has all the DLC included. So I typically won't buy a new game anyways because I know there'll be DLC.
Mm-hmm. It's weird, right? Too, because so if you don't buy a game right away, it's almost to your benefit to wait until there's a Game of the Year version or a Gold Pass version of the game. Like I just bought the gold version of Lego Force Awakens, which has all the DLC, for $15, and it was like $85 when it first came out. So I mean, yeah, you wait long enough, and you can definitely snag all that stuff for pretty cheap.
Yep. No, same here.
Man, that's crazy. So you live out on the West Coast.
Yep. Born and raised on the West Coast, San Juan Islands. Yep.
One of the few in our community.
Yeah, we don't have a ton of West Coasters. That's it's interesting. What do you do for fun, or for, like, I mean, I guess whether or not you consider work fun, but what do you do for work? What do you do for fun?
Well, let's see. Graduated. So I did 4 years at University of Washington here, and then I wasn't very happy where I was working. It wasn't really following my passion, and when I started listening to this podcast, I was like, geez, I sure do love games. So I took an extra leap into the abyss, and I've gone back to school, and I'm going to game design school.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yep.
So your end goal to be making video games?
Yep. So already,
super
yeah.
focused.
So the school I'm going to is like the number 2 game design school in the world. So.
Wow.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
just
cool.
10 minutes from Microsoft and whatnot, so
Yeah,
keep fingers crossed.
that's awesome. And how long is that program? Like, is it a
4 years.
significant? Okay, a couple of victory laps then. That's good for you. So is anything else besides gaming that tickles your fancy, or now that you have chosen that as a life goal, you're just hyper focused and there's no time for anything else?
Well, unlike a lot of the peers at the school, I do like going outside. So I'll walk my dog, or I'll go out fishing, or I'll play golf or tennis and whatnot. Because here in the Northwest, we do like our outdoors.
Yeah, because you just get so rarely decent days to enjoy it.
Well, it's
Or is
just,
that
it's
a
just
myth?
cloudy. We kind of keep it as a secret, but
Ah.
it rains more in New York than it does here.
Really?
Yeah, it just sprinkles here. But it is cloudy. It is cloudy all the time. So, but if you can deal with that, then the Northwest is great. Our traffic's terrible. Seattle's terrible.
Yeah, I suppose. That's pretty much everywhere now, though. Everything
Yeah.
just gets gross. Awesome. And favorite kinds of games. What do you like? What do you like to play the most? Anything with achievements? Is it that easy?
I like games that have achievements that truly make you feel like you earned them.
Example?
Witcher 3.
Okay.
There's some easy achievements in there, but then there's achievements where you truly have to know what you're doing to be able to attain them. And especially the one achievement I'm missing besides the DLC is the Death March achievement. So still
What is
working
that one?
on that one.
I don't know what that is. What do you have to do for that?
So it's you level up in the game, level 1, level 2, level 3, and you keep leveling up your gear and everything like that. And in the normal modes of the game, you can level beyond your enemy. So you can be 3 levels above your enemy, 4 levels above your enemy. But in Death March, the enemy is always at your level or higher.
Gotcha.
So it's just immensely more difficult. It's a difficult game, but it's a lot of fun.
Is that just a different play mode? Like, can you change the difficulty on the fly, or do you have to start a game on that difficulty level?
You can change it on the fly, but to get the achievement, it has to stay in that state.
Okay.
So it's more about, at that point, it's more about strategy than about time invested, right? Like, whereas a lot of RPGs have this normal sort of curve where you start out and then you gain all this experience and then you reach kind of God mode point where you can kind of go anywhere in the world, and it tries to keep pace with that.
Yeah, with the recent not recent. I mean, it's about 2 years now. But in the update they did for the game, you can start a new game and keep all of your gear and your levels. So you're maxed out. You know everything that you need to know, you have all the gear that you can attain. You're done. So it does come down to skill, or how well you can dodge. In the game, if you can just dodge, and do fairly well. But it's a difficult game. But it's probably Witcher 3 is my top, or at least in the top 3 of my favorite games of all time. So any games like it are my favorite games.
Sure.
I need to go back and do Witcher 3.
Yeah.
I know it's a game I love, but I just haven't. It's one of those games I just never picked up. So,
what else is on that list then? You alluded to a Mount Rushmore of games. Do you have the others handy, or just Well,
when I look back at like gaming history, I still love the original Fable. That original kind of whimsical story that it brought you. The feeling that you could do anything in the world.
Yeah.
And it wasn't repetitious. I feel RPGs today, it's just the same thing over and over and over again. It's go take down this outpost, and then again, and again, and again. And I love RPGs. I love open worlds. But it's just the same thing over and over again. And I think Witcher 3 did a great job making every encounter with an enemy new and different and meaningful. And Fable, the original, did that at the time in the same way.
Are you pretty excited about Cyberpunk?
I am. I am excited. I personally more enjoy the older style of history, just swords and magic and whatnot.
More of a fantasy setting?
Yeah. So I'm more interested in Red Dead than Grand Theft Auto.
Sure.
But that's just me. But yeah, absolutely excited. And they're supposedly bringing it to E3, so.
That's what I hear. I'm pretty pumped. I'm super excited about E3. I love hearing the news. It's about a month out. We're real close. If Proulx, do you have any other questions you want to ask now, or if something comes up, we just keep throwing them in there?
Yeah, I have a topic to bring up, but that's I can kind of work that in with what I've been playing.
Let's hear it then. Why don't you get started and let us know what you've been up to? So
this week was my one of many, I'm sure at this point, but my Minecraft week.
Yes.
Kingsman, it has a fantastic achievement world for the what are we calling it now? The Legacy Xbox One version of Minecraft? Is there a word for it? The non-better together version?
It is the better version. That's what I call it. It's the better version.
It is the Xbox One edition, not the. They're just called that Minecraft, right? The one that's.
Correct. Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's what they're calling it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, feels like ages ago. It's probably just a few months ago now. But if Kingsman invited me and Freem, you showed up later on that night, and a whole bunch of other people. That was actually the night I blew my mind. I learned you could run in Minecraft. I learned you could have more than 4 people in Minecraft. It was amazing. And I've spent quite a few hours in the game, but so we got all those achievements. It was great. But this week I was able to borrow, test an Apple TV from work. Brought it home just to make sure it was, I wanted to make sure it was working properly before we implemented it. It's one of the more rare versions of Minecraft. So I'm like, okay, I can get this for the weekend and play it, and it's it's a bunch of TA, it's a bunch of achievements that I can just get, and it'll be great. Well, it turned out to be much more complicated than I was expecting. The Apple TV version of Minecraft has not been updated since version 1.15.
Oh dear. Which
I learned pretty quickly. All the other versions are 1.2 something, which I think that's when it switched over to Better Together.
Okay.
So when you have an Apple device, or at least Apple TV, I should say, you can't, unless you jailbreak the device, access the file system. So you can't import achievement worlds.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, that was my first hurdle. So I can't import them. I can't just copy them over. Well, fine. I'll just play on my Windows version, or I'll play on my Android version and I'll host the achievement worlds there. Well, no, because those are the updated Better Together versions. So of course they're not compatible with the older version that's on Apple TV. Okay, there's problem number 2. So finally figured out that there's a way you can download older versions of Android apps. Great. Well, the older versions of the Android apps don't work with some versions of the achievement worlds. So clearly this was going to be a big problem for me. This was a terribly, terribly frustrating. Like, this was a thing I expected to come home, open this thing, plug it on my TV, and just play through the achievement world and get a bazillion points and in an hour. And it turned out to be an entire nighttime project, and I only got 50% of what I was expecting out of it. So
that's a bummer. Are you going to be able to complete it?
No, I mean, because it's an older version, there's a few, like 4, I think. I guess they'd be considered discontinued achievements or glitched achievements you can't get at this point, at least until they update the version.
Yeah.
But I'm also running into some other problems with some of the newer title update stuff. So I'm sitting at, I don't know, 75% of them at this point. I might just call it good. And, it's still rare and harder to get than some of the more common versions. But anyways.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So I played Minecraft Apple TV. I hosted with my Android device and my Windows 10 device. So I got a bunch of achievements in both of those games just by proxy, just by being in the game when I was unlocking these achievements. It was a massive Minecraft week for me. So, yeah, I think maybe I'll take a break. But
break from Minecraft or a break from talking?
Minecraft.
Okay.
I started and completed Toy Story Mania, which was like a 2-hour game.
Is that a phone? Windows 8? What is that on?
That's a Xbox 360 game.
Really? What the hell kind of game is that? Sounds like a kart racer.
It's a shooting gallery game. It's like a balloon popping sort of carnival game, like where basically you have a reticle on the screen.
Yeah.
And everything's 2D, and you literally just move your cursor and shoot at things.
Bizarre.
It's so easy because you just hold the right trigger and you rapid shoot, and there's no ammo or anything like that.
Yeah.
And basically there's just a mission specific achievement for every mission, and that's it. 2.5 hours and you're done. Apparently it's better with Kinect, but I cannot imagine playing with Kinect, so I just played it with a controller and got it done super
I'm
quick.
pretty sure better with Kinect is just a tagline.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh, definitely. So yeah, and then we also got our new random to-do list achievements. I know Kingsman was he's kind of being discouraged right now with the random to-do list stuff, but I was too when I got my list. I don't think I'm going to go for very many because I have no less than 4 or 5, which are beat the game achievements.
Oh, no.
So, but I started it and I got some done. And in fact, I got one done in Star Wars The Force Unleashed. I had to throw my lightsaber 500 times at some Wookiees. No problems there.
Had you already started that, or did you literally go from 0 to 500?
So you get an achievement. There's a bunch of kills like this where you do, use X ability 500 times. You get one achievement at 100 kills, and then one achievement at 500 kills. So I already had the 101, so I basically did it 400 times.
Gotcha.
There's there's mission select too, Frank.
There is missions, exactly. And the starting mission, the tutorial, you play as Darth Vader.
Okay.
And you're super powered up and have all these amazing abilities.
Gotcha.
So if you there's a point where you can get to an infinite spawn of Wookiees, and you just sit at this bridge and just wait and wait. So it's not too long, about a half hour, maybe 40 minutes.
Poor Wookiees.
Yeah. So I murdered a whole bunch.
You gonna give us a Wookiee sound? Can you? That's pretty good.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So there you go. Played some Gears 2, a quick multiplayer achievement I didn't have in that. Bunch of
I just saw the flag for that photographer thing came down. I just got the email at True Achievement that said that it's no longer discontinued, that stupid photojournalist mode thing or whatever.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, I already own it, so I don't need that achievement anymore, but
yeah,
those,
I think I have.
Those are always goofy when they're like, "Oh, hey, do like the Connect Share stuff and crap like that." It's like those are just ticking time bombs.
Then I played a bunch of Halo. I kind of tried to double down on that. I think it's also kind of my excuse to not start Borderlands 2 again, even though it's gone backwards compatible. But
you mean Dragon Age 2?
I'm sorry, Dragon Age 2. I said Borderlands 2. Dragon Age 2.
Yeah, it's because people have been harassing you in chat about Borderlands.
Yes. And then the last game I played this week was Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts about that game, and not all of them are positive, but you will hear that later on this episode, so I won't go into it now. But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that game really intrigues me. I think that seems like a really cool game.
You may enjoy it. It's
from what I hear though, that enjoying is kind of the wrong way to think about it, is because you won't necessarily. It's not something to be enjoyed. It's an experience to have, and
it's very heavy.
Appreciate, or
yes, it's very heavy.
Anyway.
But we'll get into it in reviews, Ed, and take a listen to that.
That's awesome. I didn't realize we were doing a reviews on that. Cool. Well, hey, let's talk about what I've been up to. So let me start with, I mentioned on the last show, it was end of month time, and I was woefully behind on my gamertag challenge. So I had Saturday. I did a little bit too on Friday night after the podcast, but not too much. But I decided, all right, let's get into it. Let's see what I can do. So we started off with a little bit of Octodad. Hot off the heels of Manual Samuel, I'm thinking, man, I can tackle anything with goofy ass controls, right? Now Octodad not as punishing as Manual Samuel was at this point, but granted I've only played one level of it. But way wackier. Holy crap! And I think I'm appreciating the humor a lot more. Specifically, so I had an achievement on my random to-do list in April to there's like a gardening one for that, and so I didn't realize how close that was to the beginning of the game, so I ended up actually getting that. I ended up getting 3 achievements in that game, but you start off the day, right? So your first level is getting married, which is just a funny thing in and of itself. But just, you're kind of learning the controls, doing whatever. And Proulx, have you played Octodad?
I think I bought it on sale, but no, I've never actually
played it.
Yeah.
Kingsman, you play Octodad at all?
I own it. I have not played it, but my stepbrother has played it and quite enjoys the game. It's a little difficult to control the character, but he
difficult.
He said that the charm of the game wins you over. So
yep, and that's exactly right. Okay, so let me just run a quick for those of you who haven't played it. The triggers, left and right trigger, control your legs. And so as an octopus, your legs, you have two of your tentacles into each pant leg, right? So your two tentacles make 2 legs. So I guess that's 4 tentacles make 2 legs, and then you have your double arms through the sleeves, and so you use your the analog sticks control each arm, and the triggers control each leg. And so you walk with the legs, and if you got to use your arms, you reach them out using the controls, and it is very difficult, but that's kind of the point, is you can just be you look like a sloppy drunk, really. Just how you're flopping all over the place. And in theory, your family or other humans are supposed to look at you and be like, what's wrong with that guy? He is all over the place. But, they don't... I haven't been to a point where it's been so critical that they've actually stopped me and said, okay, seriously, you just laid down on the grill. That's probably not right. Or I'm watching you climb the slide and stretch yourself and stick to the top of the shed. Dad, that's a little weird. Maybe something's not right. Anyway, but one of the things you have to do early is kind of start your day. So you get out of bed, you walk to the kitchen, and you have to make yourself a pot of coffee. So you use your tentacles, and you got to grab the coffee pot, and then you put that on there, and then you grab the coffee, and like you actually have to rotate the analog stick to tip the coffee beans upside down to pour it out. And so because of the sensitivity, you just end up pouring coffee all over the place. But at some point it'll trigger and it'll be like, oh, yep, it's in there, great. And then you just throw it on the floor. And then you got to hit the button and start your coffee. And so then your wife then asks, hey, all right, while that's brewing, can you go get your daughter some milk? So you got to walk over to the refrigerator, open the fridge, reach in, grab the milk, and now you're holding a jug of milk. Well, it's the same thing. So if you rotate your hand upside down, the milk starts pouring out. Now it's an infinite amount of milk that's in there, but the kind, because I'm flailing all over the place and I have to walk into the living room to pour it in her cup. Like milk is just pouring all over the living room. Like I am walking with a jug of milk upside down, and then when I get close to her, I like knock her tea set over. I wreck all her toys, and then I have to flop the milk over her, effectively like drenching her in milk. But I happened to go over her teacup at one point, and so like it worked. And she's like, "Thanks, Dad," and then runs like out the back door. So it's like super forgiving from that standpoint, but like conceptually, it is hilarious because you just look like this just completely sloppy, inept person. And so anyway, I had some fun with it. I know Chin Doctor was pushing to have that as a Game of the Month nominee at some point, but it is silly and fun, and I earned an RTDL in it. And then I went and did iZombie. So this was the port of that mobile phone game. I think it was mobile is where it started. And you're a zombie who has to kind of infest people. There's like 30 levels in the summer and another 20 in the winter or whatever. And so I only had one achievement left in that, and it was to finish the winter levels under a cumulative total of 8 minutes. I think I started and I was at like 12 minutes or something. And so I just watched some guides, and the beauty of that is when you're doing those time trials, you don't have to get 3 stars. Like for one of the achievements, you have to get all the stars. So you take your time, you make sure you don't get killed, you spread out the bullets so the zombies you convert, you save as many zombies as possible. And so that's how you get your 3 stars. But then when you're doing time trial stuff, like a whole bunch of people can die, just not your guy. So you can make it through with 1 star, but if you didn't in a minute and a half, like that's your best time. So you can just drive that down. And it was a lot easier than I thought it was, especially when you have that mindset of like, oh, I can just sacrifice these humans all day. And so I ended up getting that one, and that then got me the completion. So iZombie is done skis. And then I moved to Laser Life. Have you guys played Laser Life?
Nope.
It is like like amplitude, frequency, arrow, right? Where it's a you're going down a corridor or a pipe or whatever, and you have to activate nodes to play music. And so this one uses both analog sticks, and you don't see the ring, the circle. Like if you think of Arrow, where you have that your ship and it rides around the outer ring of the tube there. Even though sometimes it opens up into an open world, you still have kind of the framework of the tube. You understand the limits of where your ship can go. And so Laser Life is a lot like that as well. You're just rotating in a circle around this invisible tube. And then there's these like geometrical shapes that come flying at you, and those are what trigger the music. And so like I turned it on, never played before. Turned it on, it's some like trance techno stuff, a little EDM, and you're kind of just grooving with the music. And so I'm moving the sticks, and they're a little clumsy to control, but I'm moving the sticks to go over these nodes, and I'm just playing, hitting the nodes, doing my thing, and I'm like, gosh, like I feel like things should be happening here. Like nothing's, and I'm going minute after minute, just kind of listening to the bass line. Yeah, I like this music. It's pretty good. Cruising around. And then I realize, literally, I've been playing for 7 minutes at this point. I'm not actually doing anything. Like, I'm just literally, but the game won't let me lose. You have to hit the trigger buttons on the nodes to activate them. And so I went through a couple hundred nodes before I was like, oh my gosh, I have to actually interact with these things. Oh,
That's
whoops.
funny.
And then once you do that, it's like, oh yeah, okay, now it's kicking in. I get it now. And so I ended up finally figuring that out. I restarted the level and went through. I had an early random to-do list for getting 100 nodes in a row, so that was pretty easy. But I felt like a complete chumbalone for not figuring it out. I mean, I would have played that game for hours, and thinking, man, this is a really long completion before realizing I have to hit the trigger buttons. Then I went into Reagan Gorbachev, just a top-down shooter, pretty mindless. I got a couple achievements in that one. Switched over to Clockwork Tales for an achievement, little Artifex Mundi action, and then the Valley for Kronos there had a V in it. I did one more chapter in Valley. I kind of saved that one because it's my V game, and so I barely kind of chip away at that one, following a walkthrough. It's I do what I can. XCOM, real easy, just gotta augment the dude. And I started Knee Deep, a visual novel. Like I said last show, I had 3 random to-do lists. I just got like an achievement, 2 achievements, nothing special there. That's one that I'm gonna like, because you have to do 3 playthroughs and pick the same type of delivery each time. So one of them is like you have a cautious, it's a spin on a news item. You have to do a cautious, all cautious, and then all skeptical or whatever. I don't know. There's like 3 different things, but you have to do those one in each playthrough. And so I figure if I take too long, I'm totally going to forget what I was doing. The last things I want to talk about here for what I moved into in May now with my random to-do list. Of course, I've been working on Fallout Shelter. I do that every day. It's just kind of a daily thing, cruising around. Plants versus Zombies, Garden Warfare. So I did get my vampire achievement for killing 50 vampires. I only needed a few more. But, so that puts me at 64 out of 65 achievements. And I have not found a vampire superwave. That is now the bane of my existence. I am growing a level of dislike for this game that is previously thought to be unfathomable by myself. I have now gone, so each night we do this, we probably get five or six runs, 4-man runs, because you got to go all the way to level, wave 9, finish wave 9 to get the next set of boss slots where the vampire wave is likely to come. And so if we do 5, and now it's been 3 or 4 weeks probably 4 weeks we've been doing this. That's almost 50 times we've had. Well, then you got to double it because you get double slots. Now I don't know if it's even possible to get them at the round 5 to get the vampire super wave, but at least the one. We're talking like 50 times now. Not a single vampire wave. Oh my god.
Hey, Freem.
What?
You want to know something cool?
You got a trick for me?
No, I have no tricks for you at all because I actually got a Vampire Superwave the first time I played that mode.
Yeah, and so did it was on the 360 version. Was that you?
No, I didn't play the 360 version.
Okay, I thought it was maybe whoever was in the group because I was doing some normal kills, and it was like the end of the night, and I'm like, oh, I gotta go to bed, and they're like, all right, well, let's just try one more round, and then of course instead of going to bed, I stayed in party. Was chatting and doing some other things like, oh, I better do my daily in Prominence Poker, and there's just one quick random to-do list. I'll go get that one. So I ended up staying, and I heard them, and they're like, oh, Vampire Super Wave! They're super pumped, and I'm like, God, darn it, like, man. So I got to go back and do the 360 version, but I am like so unbelievably frustrated. So I wish there was a trick. If anyone out there knows of a trick, because I don't buy it that it is. I mean, I do buy that it's completely random. I don't think there's a way to like stack the deck to get it to work in your favor. But man, we're getting angry.
It sucks. It's so frustrating when it's not within your control. You know, and it feels cheap and unfair of the developer to put something in like that. That you would think that they would easily just put in like, okay, they didn't get it this one time. Well, then make it 0.001% more likely the next time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you can have that element of randomness, but it feels punishing sometimes when you're on the wrong side of the randomness.
I think it was last week we got 2 disco zombie super waves in a row. And I'm like, man, you gotta be kidding me. Stupid double disco stews and no vampires. You're like, that is obscene. Anyway, so that was super frustrating. Seriously, I hope we're wrapping that game up here real soon. Last 2 things I want to talk about. First one is, Monday night comes around, sales. Oh, man. Love Monday nights. They're super fun when you see what's on sale. Like get that wallet ready. And What Remains of Edith Finch went down 40%. And that's a game I was really excited about. I wanted to do it, but I'm like, 40%. Listen, this is what I'm going to do. Because it's April 30th. I'm going to put What Remains of Edith Finch on my random to-do list queue. And if the RTDL bot shines gracefully upon me, it'll say, you know what? It's time to buy the game. And it'll put an achievement on my random to-do list or give me a reason. RTDL did not fail. And they gave me 2 reasons. They put 2 achievements for What Remains of Edith Finch on there. And there's only 10 achievements in that game. And I got a double dose. And so I immediately bought that and played it Tuesday night. That game is awesome. It's real short, 2 hours at max is all you need to do. Played through, because it's effectively a walking simulator. You can't really, some of the achievements are technically missable, right? You likely will not get them on your first playthrough. I remember I completed the story and only got 3 achievements, and one of them was because I happened to look at my random to-do list beforehand, and so I knew what I needed to do for that one. Otherwise, I would not have done it in normal play of the game. So in theory, I would have only gotten 2. One by accident, and the other, the others, you get an achievement for completing the story. That would be would have been the second one. And it's like, oh, okay, story's short, like I said, but they have a very favorable checkpoint system. Like, you can just go to the beginning of each story, and where the achievements are, you don't actually have to play that deep into any of the individual vignettes. Some of them you do a little bit, but they're pretty darn fast. Again, you can complete the game in 2 hours. So, as far as an experience, I played through, very much enjoyed it. The narration is fantastic. The characters are super interesting. And it is, I will not spoil anything here, because it is certainly a game that you want to experience, because the way that they do the storytelling in terms of the gameplay, right? So there's a narration. You find a journal of one of the family members, and it takes you into their world, and presents a visual style or a visual gameplay, a type of gameplay, or it varies. Each character, each person in your family tree has a different type of way you interact with their story, and it is so unique. Super fascinating and very interesting from a narrative standpoint, and I loved it. I really did. I loved it a lot. I could see why it was in talks for as it was so highly regarded, and I also see why it didn't win anything, because it was relatively short. There's a lot of questions that I still have, and I would love to have a spoiler-filled conversation with somebody to talk about my experiences, but certainly this is not the venue for that. So if any of our listeners out there, have played it and are as interested in me as having conversations about it, I would, we can have a private conversation in Discord or wherever, but I would be interested in just hearing some other people's thoughts, because it is a great game. And fantastic, easy 1K as well. So I was super happy. $12 well spent on the sale. Of course, when the show comes out, the sale will be over. But anyway, if it comes back around on sale, I assume at some point it'll either be 40 or 50% off. I highly recommend you get that game. Or if you need some help in G-Task, that'd be a great one too. And so finally, the last thing I want to talk about, and that'll lead into our discussion, is Sea of Thieves. I actually went back and played it. Of course, I played on Sunday night. Kingsman, you were there, but we didn't earn any achievements that night. We were just mucking around, having some fun, trying to get into the storm. That didn't work for me. Trying to make some friends. That didn't work. We had one guy, we sunk a ship, got sunk. One guy joined our party for a cup of coffee and was like, no, these guys are stupid. I'm out of here. It happens. But, we made some progress, had some chests, got some money, did some things. But that's not really what I want to talk about. I want to talk about what I played today. So my wife and daughter went. They had a little evening. My wife went out with some of her friends. My daughter was at her friends playing, and so it was a father-son night. And my son was super excited. Hey, I get to play with Dad. This is gonna be great. So I said, well, what do you want to do? It's beautiful outside. I mean, maybe we should go out and play some disc golf. Maybe we should, I got to go to the gym first. But then after that, we go, I'm not really interested in that. Maybe we come home and play video games. I said, oh, okay, I see where this is going. All right, well, what do you, he's big into Minecraft. He's like, maybe we can play Minecraft online. I'm like, yeah, we could do that. Or, let me just throwing this out here, maybe we can find another game that we could play. Something, in my head I'm thinking something that still has achievements to unlock. I'm trying to think of, okay, was there any 2-player games on my random to-do list? And he said, well, I was kind of interested in playing Sea of Thieves. I said, oh, okay, well, now that I have my X and I have my Xbox One downstairs, like I think I could get that to work in our house. I had to set up the home console and do a little game share and stuff. But so I had my son upstairs with the headset. I was downstairs on this TV with my little headset here. And so this was the first time he was ever in a party chat. And so my Turtle Beaches upstairs have mic monitoring, right? And so he's hearing his own voice and he's like, and I apologize in advance for you podcast listeners, but it's got to be the effect. I put my headset on and he's going, and he's like blowing into the microphone. I'm like, buddy, listen, I can totally hear that. Like, stop. Get the microphone away from your mouth. You got to pull it, okay? Talk normal, okay? That's just, you can hear yourself now. That's, I'm trying to walk through like proper party chat etiquette. And so he and I got into a little 2-man sloop, and we just started sailing. We had some fun. We did some gold hoarders. He's got to work on his combat, so I said, I'm going to stay away from the Order of Souls, and the Merchant Guild sucks. So we'll just we'll go searching for some gold, and boy howdy, we found trouble. No less than 3 galleons came and destroyed us. Now, thankfully, we had unloaded our ship, and so by that point, I'm like, well, we're dead. So you know what? See if you go climb on their boat and cause havoc. If you find a chest, just grab it and jump off the boat and swim to what. Oh man, we got killed so many times, but he was laughing so hard, and like this, he's standing above me. So I'm in the basement, he's in the living room area, and so I can hear things, and it sounds like stuff is falling all over the place. I'm like, what is that noise? Well, my son, he has ADHD. He gets really excited, and so he is standing there playing the TV, jumping up and down because he's just so excited about all the action that's going on, and the people are, oh, they're coming after me. Oh, quick. Oh, there's a shark here. Oh my God. And I'm just hearing him yell both through the headset and down the stairwell because he's yelling so loud and jumping. But that experience, and I ended up earning 2 achievements, actually. I got the friend one. I made friends with him. Or I think that popped retroactively. But then the Kingsman, you had mentioned that recently there was some new updates, and you thought, oh, maybe they would do some other things. Well, I went to, you said that different, and you correct me if I'm wrong, different traders now have different equipment. Is that right?
Yeah, so depending on the outpost, they'll have different, masks, poles, jackets, and whatnot. Yeah. But some outposts will have the same items as another one. So like Galleon and Daggertooth have the exact same. So
oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily always different.
I was at Daggertooth today, and my son was like, we spawned on Shipwreck Isle, and there's a bunch of gunpowder kegs there, and so I'm like, oh, let's just load it up. We'll go. It's almost time to wrap up, so let's just go back to the closest outpost, which was Daggertooth, and we'll just sell these, unload them, and get some money. And he's like, oh, well, now that I got money, I'm gonna go buy some stuff. And I'm thinking, dude, you feel like $500. Like you're not getting anything. But go ahead, while I unload these 4 kegs, you go look in the stores, do your thing. And he went into the gun store, and they have those like the day 1 patch, right? With the little one gold coin items.
Let me guess, he bought the new sniper rifle that just came out.
Totally did.
Yep.
Totally did. And he goes, hey, cool, I got an achievement. And I'm like, wait, what? What'd you get an achievement for? Extend your reach, or I have reached something. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? How'd you get that? Oh, there's this. Here, take a look. And he's showing me a sniper rifle with a beer bottle, or a wine bottle strapped to the top as the scope. And he's like, yeah, I went and bought this. I'm like, oh my God, where is that? So yeah, the Daggertooth lady is selling the kind of the day 1, the Founders Pack type sniper rifle for $1, and that totally satisfies the getting the upgraded or a new Eye of Reach gun. And so boom, achievement. I don't know if that'll get patched out, but man, that was awesome. Because those are normally like 13 grand or 10 grand. How much are sniper rifles normally?
I think they're about 13,000 gold.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Now I can save that gold to get my fancy hat. That is also $13,000, which is just obnoxious. Unless you know of an outpost that has cheap hats.
Nope, that's about it. 13,000.
Darn it. God. The economy in that game is rough.
Yeah, wait until you reach legendary status, where holes are 300,000, sales are 300,000.
Because there's achievements for that too, isn't there?
No, not only. There's only the one achievement for upgrading a ship type.
Okay.
Just the one, and you can get the cheapest one, which is 70,000. But that's still 70,000 gold.
70,000. That is a ton. Well, let's talk about the game. All right. So, Kingsman, we got you on board because you, according to our stats, and we'll get into the stats later, have played by far the most of this game in our community. And you were on every one of my streams, weren't you?
Every single Freem crew
had a Kingsman.
Had a Kingsman. Had their first mate. Yep.
That's fantastic. I totally appreciate that. That's been fantastic. And I mean, it works for you because you're on the West Coast, so Freem Standard Time is a little bit more reasonable than my East Coast listeners. But all right, so where do we want to start with this as far as a recap goes? Let's hear, Kingsman, your overall take on the game. How do you feel about it? Was it successful? Is it too early to tell? Are you happy with where things are? Give me your overall thoughts on the game.
So I watched a bunch of videos before release about, other players playing the beta and whatnot. And just based off those and the trailers and everything, the game looks amazing. It looks fun. It's exciting. You want to jump in. You want to play with your friends. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to jump in. I wanted to play. Yeah. And I played as soon as it got, released on Game Pass, because that's the way I'm playing it. I, installed it, started playing, and what those videos and what the trailer doesn't show is the amount of downtime you have sailing between islands, how empty the world is.
Yes.
It's beautiful, and the water effects are quite good, and the world is colorful, cartoony, but colorful.
Yeah.
But it's so empty. I'll get up, and if it's a slow wind, I'll get up and I'll go cook food, or I'll go and take the dog out, to potty and stuff. It's like, that's not an exciting game to play. And it just gets to a point where, deliver 1,000 banana crates on time, 1,000 gunpowder barrels, 1,000 villainous skulls, 1,000 captain's chests. I'm sorry, but Rare, if you want us to keep playing your game, you gotta lower those numbers. Otherwise, they're too far out there. I don't want to go for them. The world's too empty.
Yeah, and so I totally agree. Because even tonight, but I was sailing around with my son because like I had to do all of the sailing. I'm just driving a sloop around, so you can do everything, and so given how small that is, and like you're in, we had to sail into a storm at one point because we were trying to dodge some galleons, and the island I needed was currently in the storm, and so like we're going into the storm, and I'm like, I am getting just battered about. The waves are so high, I can't see anything, and it's like, this is really cool. Like this is, like you said, the water effects are super cool. Visually, this is a very impressive game, and so we're sailing, and like, there's always things going on, right? Like, oh, look, there's seagulls over there. That, there's a shipwreck. Oh, look, there's island. There's things on the island. There's a galleon over in the distance. Oh, there's another galleon. Look, everybody's sailing. And it's like, well, so this world's not empty. But then you realize, if I wanted to go to that, that's a 15-minute detour to go get, to get that shipwreck. Or if I go to that island, yeah, I see a bunch of barrels and stuff, but like, that's just your general stuff. I've got maybe less than 10% chance there might be something of value, such as a crate or a message in a bottle or whatever. And so like, well, that's not really worth my time to go stop there. And the AI enemies aren't really special, so, and I don't get any experience for killing them. There's no importance for wiping out skeletons unless you're on a quest. So it's like, well, okay, I guess I just need to stay the course then and go to my island and run downstairs. Am I on course? Yep. Run back upstairs, grab the helm, keep her straight. Yeah, that's it. Like, there's not much to it. And so while it looks really cool, it really falls short on engagement right now.
Yeah, and I think it's a better thing to address right away is when you first get dropped into the game, there's no tutorial. There's absolutely nothing to tell you what's going on in the world. You don't know how to change weapons. You don't know how to, heal yourself. You know absolutely nothing. And at first you're like, this is a little frustrating. I don't know what's going on. I'm not very happy right now. I keep sinking my ship. What's going on?
Yeah.
Looking back, I think that's actually it's a very rewarding thing because you learn how to tackle those issues. You learn how to throw water on the gold skeletons. You know how to, raise your lantern to go against the shadow skeletons. And that's all very rewarding things. But after the 4 or 5 hours that you play and you do those things, or you drink with your fellow crew and you do those, those fun activities, then it's just repetition. And it's just the same thing over and over and over again. And every sunken ship is the same sunken ship.
Yeah.
With the same, cruddy loot, and you may get something good, but the fact that you have to find 1,000 of those skulls and 1,000 of those captain's chests, not to mention 1,000 of the shipwrecked chests, it makes you go, I don't even want to go over there and look anymore. It's just this, and the 3 missions too, for those who haven't played, there's the 3 trading companies at every outpost. You have a merchant alliance, you have the gold hoarders, and then you have the Order of Souls. But they're all reskins of essentially the same quest. The Gold Hoarder is you get an X on the or a riddle, an X map, and you go to an island and you dig up a chest, and sometimes skeletons will spawn, and they're just annoying, and you kill them, and then get the chest, and you can return it to any outpost. And then the Order of Souls, you get a quest to go kill a particular skeleton crew, and then you kill them, and it's easier to do with a crew, and it's sometimes fun to do with a crew, but you're still go retrieve, bring back.
Yeah. And that's just a simple horde mode thing, right? It's like,
exactly.
What, 3 waves, 4 waves, and then a slightly more buff.
Depending on how many skeleton captains are in your contract, yeah. And then the Merchant Alliance is probably the most annoying but most rewarding of the trading companies. You get your quest and you have to deliver pigs, snakes, chickens, gunpowder barrels, banana crates to a specific outpost by a specific time. And it just gets so tedious running around trying to catch some stupid pig on a beach while another sloop in the distance is watching you, waiting for you to, to sink you, and you're just some idiot running around a beach trying to catch a pink pig. But it's the same thing. It's just a fetch quest, and I'm sick of them. I don't want to do any more of them. I want to get the achievements, but oh man, am I tired of them.
Yeah. Are you so? I've never done a merchant's quest before. Does a timer show up? How do you know to get there on a certain time?
So it will say deliver by 8 p.m. on the 25th. And if you go to your second inventory slot, you can pull out your little stopwatch or little pocket watch. And it will show the date, and obviously, a clock.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, I have something to say especially about the beginning of the game, and there's the fact that there's no tutorial. Like you said, that it's rewarding to learn that there are different weaknesses to different skeletons, and you should learn that within 4 or 5 hours, or you did at least. By the way, I played the game much more than that. I didn't even know there were different types of skeletons. So yeah, I can understand the balance here. Dropping people into no, I think it's handled really poorly. If you wanted to drop a whole group of people, a full crew of 4 people into a tavern. So it worked for me. My first experience was dropping with 3 people I already knew, 3 of my friends in a tavern. That was my first experience of the game. And again, no tutorial. If they limited it to just the tavern and just that experience of people okay, I guess maybe I can understand it. Because, you have to fiddle with the controls. Of course, everybody's going to end up drunk in the beginning. That's fine. As soon as you stumble out of that tavern, I think no tutorial at all is completely inexcusable. If I didn't have somebody who had played the beta, I would have never, ever figured out, probably never, ever, without looking it up online, the whole voting system, the whole quest system, the entire, even just it doesn't even say, like when you walk out of the tavern and you look on the dock, it doesn't say, hey, this is your ship. It's just a ship at the end of the dock. There's no indication of what you're supposed to do or how you're supposed to do it. I think that is I think that's a big problem with the game. And it's so frustrating to me. I feel a lot of the same things that you do. Like, I haven't even done half of what you've done, like the first version of it. Like, I haven't done one of the pig quests. I can't imagine doing 1,000 of them. No way. This game tries to cover up its shallowness in a lot of ways. And again, I fully expect there's going to be, I don't know if it needs extra factions or more people per server, because like you say, the downtime between quests is excruciating, and it's not interesting unless there's player versus player stuff going on. And on the one hand, that's what a lot of people complain the most about, is the griefing and all that sort of stuff. On the other hand, that's when the game shines the most. I don't know how you strike that balance. That's tough. So for me, it's a game of extremes. I really enjoy bits of it. The social stuff is super enjoyable, and there's like a really good base there. But on the other end of it, it's there's just not enough meat to chew on.
Well, that's the whole thing. In between those encounters that you have, those exciting battles between galleons. Freem, we went against White Mamba, was the guy that we met up that one time when I fired upon him with some exuberance on my part.
Yep.
So he invited me to play, and I played with him just the other night. And we went over to a skull fort, and there was we met up with another galleon as well. So another galleon, and then myself and Mamba in a sloop went out to the skull fort, and we battled against another galleon and another sloop. And we did that for maybe 30, 40 minutes, just circling this fort and those, and it was a lot of fun. And we came up victorious, and we defeated the skull fort. And that was a lot of fun. But
doesn't help you get achievements.
Yeah, but between those encounters, as Proulx was saying, it doesn't make up for the other time that you spend in the game. There's just not enough. And I have to say that Rare totally flopped on this release. I think if they don't release significant content by the end of August, no, this game's done. It's dead in the water. When you have Red Dead and these new Battle Royale Call of Duties and Battlefields coming out, this game's done. They totally flopped on it, and especially since in the last 3 years, I've been following the development on it. They haven't added anything new. I don't know what they've been doing. I don't see what was so difficult in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, and okay, well let's talk about that then, right? So they, there were some troubles with the launch. They had a few issues getting servers stable. The achievements were a complete disaster. Like, obviously those didn't work right away. They just didn't anticipate the number of people that'd be on there. Fine, I get that. So they take the entire month of April to work on some things, and then they release what they, the roadmap. And, we're starting to get some more things into the game, right? So the new things we got, some new items. Things have been stable. Like, I've been seeing, consistent. There's boats all over the place. So there's, I'm getting shot by tons of different people, which is great. No, it's not great. And then our first content drop is supposed to be toward the end of this month, right?
Well, half of it has already dropped with the new items.
So that's considered part of it.
That was part of it. The new AI threat, which they haven't told anything about, just the fact that there will be a new AI.
Yeah.
Is supposed to be in the next 2 weeks.
Okay. I know, I'm very curious about what that might be, but new AI threat. Okay, that doesn't sound significant enough.
Yeah, it could be a new color of skeleton. It means nothing.
Yeah, respawnable red skeleton or something. Red Skull.
Hey, Red Skull would actually be pretty awesome. No, you guys are totally right. If it was like a new faction of soldier, not pirates, I suppose they wouldn't be, but soldier characters that had their own ships and that owns, controlled by the AI, that would be fantastic. You can kind of tell what kind of game this is going to be. This is going to be a very similar. I imagine this is going to have the same sort of trajectory that Destiny had, where there's a certain level of content, and then there'll be chunks of significance, and then sort of flatline, and then that it has that same sort of feel to me, and I don't know if it's enough to push this game anything beyond Kingsman, like you said. I think August is way too far in the future. I think it will have sailed into the sea of, irreverence, not irreverence, but
irrelevance.
Irrelevance. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. At that point, they have to hit the ground running, in this month, maybe next month, if that's how far out you want to get. But they need to keep themselves fresh. I don't see that happening, honestly.
Well, and I look at the stats from our community, with this game already, and they're already small numbers. Not a lot of voyages were completed. Not a lot of things were delivered already, and I think that's the case, obviously, with a lot of the gamers that picked up this game on Game Pass, played it for a little bit, and was like, you know what, it's not enough. I don't want to continue playing it, and they're going to go to different games. And personally, yeah, I think by August, because I don't see a whole bunch of releases coming out till then, because you do have Shadow of the Tomb Raider and whatnot coming out in September, and so those are the big games, and they're going to overshadow this game, and we're all going to be done. I was not excited when I saw the outline for their plans.
Yeah,
nothing made me excited about it, and I pretty much have played the most of this game, and I'm not excited. I don't want a new AI threat. I want new game modes. I want to, let there be a game mode to race other ships. Let there be, tavern games. Let there be some other things to do inside the world rather than just fetch quests.
It's frustrating because Okay, like I don't find it excusable, but say you did that, you were okay with the launch of the game and you said, okay, this is the start of the platform. If you look at this roadmap, you say they never had anything and still have nothing to go with this game. They never had a plan. They never had an idea. Like let's just say they wanted to just get the bare bones out the door, and then they're going to do episode 1 and then episode 2 or whatever. That was never the case. This is just, well, we have this sea and where there's a bunch of islands, and then we'll just kind of see how it goes. Like there's no roadmap. There's no clear direction here, and that's what's really frustrating.
Yeah, you're spot on it. So right now, in my game development classes, this is a classic outline of your first week planning out a game. When I saw that outline, I go, that is exactly the same outline we had before we had any idea what we wanted this game to be for a final project.
Yeah.
It's just, it looks like they released the game and they were like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, we can do a new AI. Yeah, we should do create some new islands maybe in the future for people to go and visit. That's your outline. That's your plan.
Yeah, I mean that's so like okay. You I totally agree. You guys have stated very good things or good commentary, but I also look at it and say, like, I mean, you just mentioned two things, Kingsman, that I never even considered in terms of like what is possible for this world, and I think that's kind of being an optimist. That's what's kind of exciting about it, is that this world is very basic, but it is interesting, and there is so much room for improvements that that you can be really creative and come up with some fascinating ideas of like, these would be awesome, and really there's not anything standing in your way for Rare to implement them. I never in my mind did I consider pub games. Like, that's brilliant. Like, I mean, they did that in Red Dead. You play poker, you could play Liar's Dice.
That's a really cool idea that I wouldn't have thought of either.
That'd be great. You could play darts. You could do Mumbly Peg. I don't know. Come up with whatever pirates do.
Well, tons of games have these. Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how this game can be so empty when they spent a very significant development time on this with a budget that, as far as
it was endless.
Yeah, as far as I can see, I think honestly Microsoft thought Rare was absolutely capable to do this on their own. That they were very hands off on this, and I worry greatly about future games from Microsoft. If they're as hands off
from Microsoft or from World or from Rare.
Well, from both, but especially from Microsoft. I mean, this is a Microsoft-driven project.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were so hands-off and released it the way that they did with the server issues that they had, I'm very concerned. I'm not looking forward to any game from Microsoft coming out in the future right now. There's better games elsewhere. There's always a new game coming out that's bigger and better. I don't see why anyone should spend more time than they already have with Sea of Thieves at this point.
Yeah, or even into the immediate future. I mean, even into fall probably.
Yeah.
Even with their own roadmap, nothing seems interesting enough to bring people back into it. So.
Again, I mean, being the optimist, I want to point to Rainbow Six Siege. I want to point to Destiny. I want to point to, like, those games, they lived on and things got better. The Division, like, they continued to improve upon games. And so it is possible for these things to come up. And I think you even said it, Proulx, that, like, you envision in December when we talk about the year that was and saying, man, Sea of Thieves is actually a pretty fun game now, but boy, it was rough when it started. That I can see a universe where that is the narrative. I can also see a universe of saying, wow, this was Microsoft's year, and Sea of Thieves flopped, State of Decay 2 flopped,
And
still don't have Crackdown. Like, what the hell happened?
and Preem, I would absolutely agree with you. You know, in that optimism, if it was anyone but Microsoft doing this.
See, I don't know if I don't have a problem with Microsoft keeping their hands off because, you know, now, I mean, who's the best person to give you advice on how to do your game? It's the community. And so, you know, so I'm going to put it on Rare and say it was them who, and maybe they didn't have the bandwidth trying to get, you know, the water physics and the gameplay and everything to work like it's supposed to in the game, that they didn't have the resources to do all this other stuff. You know, I'm not going to blame the beta testers because I played 4 separate betas, and each time I just got, you know, a little tiny piece of what was in the game, and a little tiny, like, oh, hey, we'll turn on Order of Souls missions, try those out. And so it's like, oh, I did 1 or 2. These are kind of fun. So, yeah, they work. Great. All right, try the Merchant Guild ones. Okay, yeah, I don't really want to do that, but, you know, I'm going to go sailing around because that's great. You know, and so, like, you get these tiny little tastes of the game, and you're like, yeah, when I get to play it for a weekend, and I haven't seen this game before, yeah, this is fun. Never did anyone say, well, okay, but now could you do this for 80 to 100 hours? Like, whoa, hold on. What now? What achievements are you saying? What do you want? What do you think people are going to do? You think people are going to do this 1,000 times? That's insane. You know, and I put it on them for being unrealistic about what they, or either misinterpreting what their community's telling them, or just not anticipating what the community is going to say, because that's obscene. Now, they can pivot, and, you know, you can make changes to the achievements. You can add things. I get my biggest concern about AI-controlled ships is I've been near an island with skeleton cannons, man. They are accurate. And so if you have now a moving boat with cannons, like, I feel like the at-sea pirates, if there is those, will absolutely be the king of the ocean. They will destroy everything that sails.
You know, I actually, and I hate to be that guy, so, well, you know, maybe I'll be that guy in place of the fact that Randy's not here. I think it's a little more sinister than that. I think Microsoft is, or Rare, or Rare, are taking the advantage of the fact that they understand how us achievement people work. They know. I mean, Rare knows. They created their list. It was actually a huge thing on Twitter, and there's contests, and they understand how achievements work. They're very well aware. They know that to do these things 1,000 times would take someone years or months, you know, whatever. They did it intentionally. They made these achievements this tedious in order to keep people coming back. And that's, I mean, you know, really terrible.
I'll take you one step further, because I don't think the achievement community is big enough to care about. What I do care about, though, is the Games Pass community. You know, you want a game that keeps people subscribed? Mm-hmm. Hey, test it out. Oh, yeah, no. Oh, you want some gold? Well, you got to keep doing these missions. And so, yeah, I almost feel obligated to keep my Games Pass, because apparently I'm going to be playing Sea of Thieves for the next 35 years.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, but the only difference is the fact that Games Pass is constantly giving you new games to play, so there's actually more incentive to not play Sea of Thieves at that point. But it does feel like it's intentionally worked in a way to take advantage of people who would want to get all this stuff done, and that's really frustrating. Like, terribly, awfully frustrating, especially for something that was supposed to kind of be a bit of a beacon, a bit of a, hey, this is how things are going to be working in the future. This is a ray of sunshine in you know, Microsoft's first party,
now,
second party sort of stuff.
Do you think that maybe just we as a community, and I'm saying that semi-rhetorically because, well, I guess I don't know, because the people I follow on Twitter and read on Twitter, they share a mindset that I do, but are we just out of touch with gaming now because of our focus on achievements and what we like to do? Is this really what the kids want? The Fortnites and the mobile people. I just want a 10-minute, 20-minute experience. I'll come in, I'll do a mission on Sea of Thieves, say that's great, now I got to go, do some other things. Are we the dinosaurs?
No, it's the children who are out of touch.
The children are wrong, right?
I think we are dinosaurs. At school, I'm one of the only console gamers. They're all PC. They're all playing, the new standard for Magic, or they're off, playing Hearthstone, or, whatever, is coming out now. That's what they're playing. They don't care about achievements.
And I guess nobody cares about single player games anymore, or so I'm told. And God forbid you have a long campaign or narrative, or extended gameplay, because these kids just want their fix. Give me 10 minutes, 100 people, 10 minutes, King of the Hill, let's do it.
Devil's advocate to that, though, you look at God of War that just came out, to raving reviews, 10 out of 10s and whatnot, and that's a single player game.
That is. That totally is.
Yeah, it feels like a shallow way of looking at it. I don't think we are the problems with Sea of Thieves. I think the general gaming community is kind of settled on that point at this point. We're not the outlier for this one. It was basically just, there's just not enough there.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's just how it is. I think there is a skeleton of an awesome game there. I don't think that they're going to figure out how to make more of it, but maybe they will. They could surprise a lot of people.
I'm just thinking of my mind is racing with okay, what would make this game fun? I totally agree. AI controlled ships would be cool. Whirlpools would be cool. It'd be neat if you had some supernatural elements, I think of the Pirates of the Caribbean, where that one Calypso, right, turned into a giant 50-foot woman and terrorized ships. That'd be kind of cool for expanded raid battles. The ability to party up and make an armada, sailing to other places, meeting other civilizations, right? Maybe natives on the land, or other, taking away from the pirate aspect.
Here you go, Frame. I'll solve the problem right now. Because you mentioned Battle Royale, sort of Fortnite stuff right now. What you do is you put 100 ships in a ring with one big weird-shaped island in the middle, and you have a Battle Royale mode in Sea of Thieves. There you go. There's instant popularity.
The Red Sea from the outside gets closer and closer to the center.
Exactly.
There you go.
Or even, oh my God, here we go. We just solved Sea of Thieves, because you wouldn't even have to have one big island, little bitty islands throughout the way. And so at that point, it's kind of like, do we get on our ship? Do we swim? How far do we have to go? It's easy to sink someone's ship. Do you leave them stranded? Can they take... We just solved Sea of Thieves, by the way, people.
And the sharks are all outside the circle.
Oh my goodness, that would be amazing. You could... We just solved Sea of Thieves. You're welcome, Microsoft. They're not going to do it, but...
Let's talk about what we did as a community, because I am really happy with the turnout and the people that have played. I'm counting here. We got 15 people who we have track stats from. Let's just go through some of the highlights. Distance sailed. It's no surprise, Kingsman. You were all over the place. Over 1 million meters sailed. It followed up by CS Geek Squad up at 700,000. Redemption Denied, almost 600,000. Then a big drop-off. Fufu and Saucy, over 100,000. I'm at 83 with Fug. Proulx, about 50,000 meters. And then we have a big contingency of people in the 30,000s. Gold Hoarder chests. Is that chests or quests? Which one is this? Cashed in. Kingsman, man. Jeez Louise. Almost 400 Gold Hoarder chests. Good for you. Redemption and Geek Squad up there near 300, and then giant drop off. Saucy at 45, Koosh and Fufu down at 30. Where did I go? 16, Proulx 8. Ooh, those are not great down there. Islands visited. Is this, you just have to set foot on the island, or is this where it zooms in and says you're near an island?
It's when the island title thing pops up on your screen.
Because you've seen that nearly 750 times. Second place is around 500. Let's see, I saw 60 of them. Proulx 35. How about the Merchant Alliance Cargo? I barely did any of these. Oh, apparently I did 14. Proulx, you did 25. You did a lot more Merchant than I did.
I very much tried to. No, I didn't. I kind of went along with my group. Whatever my group was doing is what I did.
Kingsman, you did 300, over 300 merchants. You did over 200 Order of Souls, which means dead skeletons. Actually, Redemption had you on that one. I guess he liked killing skeletons.
I know, he beat me by 3 skulls.
Yep. I only had 18. Proulx had 4. You had the voyages completed, though, up at 140 almost. Second place with Geek Squad at 87, Redemption at 68. So you were out there doing it. As far as achievements go, the month of April, you started a little early, so you didn't win that. And actually, Redemption Denied has one achievement on top of you. Do you know which one that is?
I didn't. I know what that one that is, and I'm not buying those sales yet because I'm saving my gold.
Oh, there you go. Okay,
I could go and get it right now, but I'm waiting.
So he's at 38 achievements out of 60, right?
Yeah.
And then you're right behind at 37 total. And then third place with 34 is Geek Squad. That's a good number. He earned all those in April. You had earned 27 in April. You had 10 going into the month. Fug is at 27. He's in fourth place. And me at 23 in fifth place. I earned 20 in the month, and that was good for fifth place. Followed by Saucy Slingo, 19. Fufu at, Proulx, you had 19 as well. So nipping right at her heels. Nice work. We'll skip the TA and Gamerscore stuff because we're just not really earning that much Gamerscore.
So can I ask?
There's a lot left to do.
Kingsman, what now that it's not the game of the month, do you think you'll play it consistently, or are you going to drop it?
I'm going to continue playing it quite heavily till I get Pirate Legend.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Actually, when I was playing with White Mamba, a Pirate Legend joined the other galleon, so we actually went down into his little base.
Oh, his secret fort.
Yeah, so we actually went down in there and checked things out. Is
it cool? Or can you not talk about it? Is that the rule about Pirate Legend?
No, it's cool, but it's not
worth the effort.
The effort. You can buy some new sails, you can buy some new outfits, and there's a couple new quests that you can get. One's an Athena quest, which is essentially like a ghost type of quest line, but it's essentially the same thing that you've been doing. And then you have just the same old fetch quests that are just a little bit more difficult. Maybe more chests, more skulls to get. And that's it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's nothing there. And I guess maybe Rare didn't think that we'd get to Pirate Legend that quick.
Right.
But
then they're not good developers.
And just one last thing about this game. I'm not rooting against the game. I want it to be good. I want to enjoy playing this game. But I'm just not having as much fun as I hoped I would be having with it.
Yeah. That's too bad. That's tough. Great. Well, okay. So I think that ties a bow up on Sea of Thieves. Any last comments? I know Kingsman, you kind of just put a bow on it there for you. Proulx, do you have any final things you want to say?
I mean, we've talked quite a bit about Sea of Thieves.
Oh my gosh, we have.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad to be moving on, both in terms of game of the month and in terms of just my gaming, I asked Kingsman if he was planning on playing it again, because I was curious, but I'm not. Like, maybe if maybe random to-do list at one point will interest me in it, or maybe some new content will come out that'll make it really enticing. But I think there's going to be a lot of work that has to be done in order to get me to the point where I'm like, yeah, let's go play Sea of Thieves again. Yeah. So, which is too bad. And I feel the same way you do, Kingsman. I wanted the game to be good, and I still do think there is an experience that could be had there. I'm hoping that at the end of the year, we're going to see these articles of go back to Sea of Thieves. It's worth it now. And maybe we'll revisit it. Maybe Sea of Thieves, Den of Dastardly Deeds, the expansion will make everything worth it and it'll be awesome. And who knows, but hopefully we'll get there someday.
Yeah, I didn't have a good answer for you last week when you asked if I was going to keep playing. I mean, I said I was going to. Playing today with my son, that's how I'm going to play. Like, that was a really enjoyable experience. It's a game he and I can share together. He's interested in it. We'll see if that dies off. I don't know if it will or not, but like, that's probably the best avenue for me to continue to explore that content, is being able to share an experience with him. I live with a co-op partner, and I can do that. And so that, to me right now, is actually pretty intriguing and engaging. So I'm excited from that standpoint, but just knowing, okay, when is he going to get bored riding in my ship as I try to, is he ever going to want to try to drive? Is he ever, that's where, him riding around in a boat for 30 minutes to an hour every day is not going to do it. But fantastic. Well, thank you so much for. I'm gonna give Beer Me credit on that one for wanting that to be the game of the month. I helped push it through and said yes, we totally are going to do that. So it was fun. Thanks to everyone who participated. And next week we'll probably start a little bit of chatter about Bard's Gold, and of course then go into it more in depth. We got a few news items here just to discuss. We'll try to make them relatively quick because we talked so long about Sea of Thieves. But the Gamerscore leaderboards got an update, guys. Now, yeah, finally, right? And I put Koosh Moose, his comments in here because this Twitter piece that he put into Discord is the best. He took True Achievements Twitter account that says Xbox 360 games now count toward your monthly Gamerscore leaderboards. To which Koosh Moose responds, "Good news, everyone. That thing you never look at now calculates its totals the way that it always should have been done." I think that perfectly sums it up.
It's a fair assessment. Although I don't look at it frequently, it comes up on my screen often enough that it bothered me. Like, because I could tell, 30 to 40% of what I should have had was missing. Because I play my 360 pretty frequently, and it would bother me. I'm like, oh, what? I did not only get 1,200 points in the last week and a half or whatever it was, Yeah. And it took effect immediately, and it was great, and I'm very glad it's there. And it's weird that it took 3.5 years for them to figure this out, or however long it's been at this point.
Totally agree. There's no reason your 360 Gamerscore should not have been on there. I don't know. Maybe it was a thing where they're like, no, don't count it because we want people to move over. So pretend like 360 doesn't exist anymore. And then, oh wait, it's backwards compatible. Maybe we shouldn't pretend. Maybe people still play it. Oh dear, yeah, actually people really do still play it. Okay, maybe we need to add that Gamerscore back in. I don't even know. I don't even know what their mindset was. It's just so weird that it was not included. And it feels like it's like you literally just have to go, if gamertag equals whatever,
yep.
pull in current Gamerscore of Xbox 360 game. Like, I can't. Again, I'm not a coder. Kingsman, no. Tell me how easy it is. It has to be relatively simple.
Nah. Sometimes it's simple if you know what you're looking at. In this particular case, yeah, it was pretty gosh darn simple. They just
It had to be.
They honestly probably didn't have the time to do it. Is my guess.
Oh, because all those first-party releases that are coming out. That's why. I get it. All right.
Well, in terms of dashboard and improvements, those do actually take quite a bit of time. So
yeah, that makes
So dashboard improvements, they take time. Other improvements in terms of streamlining, making the dashboard quicker, that takes a lot of time because you essentially have to rewrite whole bits of code.
Right.
But this is super, super easy.
Hey, this week, Rockstar released their brand new Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer. Did you get a chance to watch it, Kingsman?
I did. This actually made me extremely excited. I typically don't watch trailers, but I loved Red Dead Redemption so much that I had to watch this.
It's pretty cool.
It's exactly what I want the game to be.
Let me expound upon that. What do you mean? What in particular?
I loved the story in Red Dead Redemption 1. I know some people felt that when you get to Mexico, it gets maybe a little long-winded and and a little bit like, let's just get to the end at this point. Not for me. I loved every single minute of it. It was fantastic. And every question that I had, like, why am I having this issue with this gang, these old guys? What? I know I'm associated with them. Why do they hate me? Why did I have such a falling out with them?
Yeah.
It looks from the trailer like every single one of those answers or those questions will be answered. And the game looks fantastic. Absolutely amazing. And I just hope that the online portion, which they obviously haven't shown or, hinted at what that might be, is in any way like the old one with a little bit of maybe GTA 5 bits here and there.
Right.
I'm sold. I think absolutely it's going to be the game of the year in one of the best-selling games of all time.
Certainly hope so. I think some of my takeaways are, very, very clearly a lot of this is, certainly generated in game, but I very much assume these are all cutscenes that happen in the game. What I'm trying to discern, okay, where's the gameplay and the cutscenes here? Like what? I mean, because there's very, very distinct moments where it's like, I remember something like that in Red Dead Redemption 1.
Yeah,
so,
this looked like a lot of cutscenes or in between when you get, you arrive at a checkpoint and it does that quick cutscene right before then you start moving your character again.
Yeah.
It seemed like a lot of that. And if that's the case, if those are strictly taken right from the game, then awesome. What I do hope is that it's streamless, that they take the loading screens out of it and it's just going to be one continuous, you just move right into a cutscene and right back into gameplay.
Yeah. I mean, because there's that one little bit there where the character bull rush tackles the guy, and it's like I feel like I did that in the first game, and so maybe that wasn't a cutscene, maybe that was actually gameplay. But I think of the scene where you walk into that town, through the doors, and it's like, okay, that looks amazing, kind of too amazing. Is that what the towns are going to look like, or is that a cutscene that I'm seeing? And when I'm running around the town, it's going to be a little different. But it could be, and it's one of those things because Rockstar is so amazing at what they do that it's like, I don't know. I am also very excited. The one thing that stood out to me that I was a little weird about was, because the trailer shows John Marston, that he's in it with his new fresh scars on his face. He looks chubby.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him at first. I was like, wait, is that? Oh, it is.
He's got a round, fat little face, and it's like, oh, little pudgy John Marston, did you have too many donuts? I don't know. I'm a little curious about what's going on there.
Well, you see, in Red Dead Redemption 1, we're constantly all over the place, trying to do the stuff for these lawmen to get back to our family. We don't have time to eat.
Maybe.
Well, and number two, if we're with a gang, we're doing a lot of robbing.
Hunting squatches.
Yeah, we got a bunch of meat to eat.
Man, I was... Oh. So the graphics were amazing, and I don't know, the story beats, I don't know. We got this story already. I don't know why they have to go back. The idea of the end of the Wild West as a transition point and using John Marston as a character worked so amazingly well in Red Dead. Why? It feels like we're retreading everything from this trailer. I'll admit, I don't know the whole game, of course. It feels like we're retreading this stuff. And I don't know how they could do it better than they already did in Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption was fantastic.
Here's what I think they can do better is you've got more characters to explore. So you can tell different stories within that framework. There's that, I'm very interested in what that female character, her story is, and if the one in the gang, the blonde, not the brunette who... Is that I don't know if that's John Marston's wife or who she is, but what interesting from her perspective, or those older guys, or if they do anything like they did, and I think are we assuming you just play as that one guy who looks like the dude from Wings?
Well, Bream, how would you feel if it was like GTA 5 and you select
where you get to swap through?
Yeah, how would you feel about that?
I actually would like that better, I think. If the stories were compelling. Like, if they gave each one of them enough... I don't think I need the singular hero, the singular character, per se. But it is kind of leading me that way. Like, that's going to be the case, and that you're going to have all these other characters who... They're influential, and they're important to the story, but you're just playing as the Wings guy, and I don't even know. Like, does he have a name? I don't think I've ever watched it with the sound on. Did they ever introduce the blue shirt guy with the tiny cowboy hat as an actual character? Have they mentioned anybody, or did
I don't remember his name?
Do we just recognize Marston and just know that that's him from the first game? I assume Butch was in there somewhere, but I couldn't tell you him from Adam. So.
It's been so long since I played.
It has been so long. Dutch, yeah, not Butch. Dutch's gang. Anyway,
like, who's Butch? Is that one of the characters? Butch? Oh.
Probably. And I heard did I hear that Seth was going to be in it again?
That would be strange.
Because he was young in the other game,
yeah.
So he'd be like a little kid. I bet he makes a cameo as a kid, and like you find him like digging up animals in a pet cemetery.
They're known for that. They'll bring characters from previous versions back into games. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and I bet what the hell's that one dude's name? The snake oil salesman. What the hell's his name?
Oh,
do you remember? I love that dude. Was hilarious. Like, he got so frustrating in the other game, but man, he was hilarious. Like M. Tiddlywinks or something.
I can't remember his character's name, but I know who you're talking about. It's been, God, when did Red Dead Redemption come out? Like, we talked last week, Frame, about Blizzard and how their giant spans of times between their franchises.
Right.
Red Dead Redemption came out in 2007, 2008. So it's been 10 years. It has to have been at least.
Oh, yeah.
So... Let's see. I'm actually very, very curious.
Landon?
Oh, no, 2010. Ricketts. So it hasn't been 10 years. It's been 8 years. But still.
Not 2010.
I just looked it up. May 18th, 2010. I know. I was very surprised as well.
Nigel West Dickens. That's the guy. The old swindler.
I don't know. I have to be honest. I felt impressed with the graphics, impressed with the presentation, disappointed by the story. But I also could be misremembering Red Dead Redemption. I don't. It's been so long since I played that game, but I don't know. I just feel like we've played this song before, and it doesn't feel like it's bringing anything new or interesting in a way. Like, I felt like Red Dead Redemption was such an interesting concept, such an interesting idea that this man was trying. He had he had to deal with the end of his lifestyle, and now we're doing the same thing again. I don't know. I don't know why we have to see any more of James Marsden. Whatever, but we'll see.
Some would say he's looking for redemption.
Indeed. I'm sure it'll be good. It's Rockstar. I have no doubt that'll be good, but we'll see how it goes.
I am pumped. Yeah. I'm really pumped. I think it's going to be great. But we don't need to continue to pine about this game. Let's move on. Proulx, this is what you really wanted to talk about.
You know, I was surprised that nobody mentioned it. I almost brought it up into Discord. Nobody mentioned it.
It did kind of fly under the radar.
It really did, and I just happened to notice it on Reddit. And I didn't even talk to Randy about it, who would also be semi-interested in it. Rock Band Network is coming back.
It's back.
So it's basically this it's where you kind of go to produce your own music into Rock Band. I'm not sure why. I mean, I don't like. It's Rock Band 4 did not set the world on fire. It
certainly did not.
It's not. There's not a bazillion people playing the game now actively. I don't. It feels kind of desperate.
Well,
honestly.
I mean, so if you read this Game Informer article, I think they pose a good point here about that this is a way to increase the song library with much less input from harmonics. Like, they don't actually have to do that much because people can create it themselves. And so maybe they can create like this underground movement of like, oh yeah, this is where garage bands go to put their music and to get their music heard and, play around in a video game or something. Maybe it's just a way to breathe life into this desiccated corpse of a game.
Yeah, you like zombies, right, Freem? Because Rock Band Network is exactly that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's so weird because it was prestigious and interesting and kind of significant if you appeared on Rock Band in 2009 or 2012 or even 2014. In 2018, if you show up on Rock Band, nobody gives a damn. Like, who cares? No one cares.
Yeah.
It really does feel, and I love Rock Band. So, I mean, like, take it for what it's worth, but it feels very like they're really reaching at this point. Okay, cool. I mean, I guess it's not a bad thing by any means. Like, maybe some smaller bands can show up on the platform, but the platform is so small now.
Yeah. I
can't even imagine many people will jump in because it's this really insignificant return on investment. I don't know,
Yeah.
So
entirely possible.
It's sad, but it is how it is.
Right. What about this other news item here? You were talking about Minecraft earlier. Are we all going to have to revisit the 360?
Well, not me, because I've never played the 360 version. But maybe Kingsman.
Hold on. You played the toaster version, but you haven't played the 360 version?
No, I never played the 360 version.
That blows my mind that you haven't done that, and I think you're a liar.
I haven't.
Kingsman, you played. You haven't played the 360 version either, or you have. You just don't have a world set up.
I don't have the game anymore.
Because you need the actual disc for that?
I just don't have a version of it. I think I played at some point, I punched a tree. And this is years and years ago. I punched a tree and I was like, this is stupid. And I fell asleep and then I returned it back to Redbox. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, that's funny.
But I don't know if the underwater update is being applied to the old versions.
It is.
It is, but we don't know if it's going to have achievements. That's the big question. So you're getting the underwater update for the Legacy editions, which does include Xbox 360. So we'll get this aquatic update, but it doesn't say in this article now that if that means those achievements are coming over, because this update added a bunch. It was a pretty significant addition to the game. You know, certainly from the one version. What are the achievement counts difference there between Minecraft on the One and Minecraft on the 360?
Do you mean the original Xbox One version? Because there are two.
Yeah, right. No, Xbox the One version. So that has 87 achievements. What is the Xbox 360 version? How many achievements on that one?
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to look it up right now, but
so
I can't.
I think the case. What I think is what's happening here is this is the final. This is the nail in the coffin for the older versions that are not updated with the quote unquote better together version of Minecraft. This is a little early, so I may be speaking out of turn, and this may not be entirely correct, but it seems like this is going to be the final update to the 360 version and the One version, the original Xbox One version.
There was 87 achievements in the 360 version.
As well?
Yep. 20 in the base game, and then 87 total.
In the 360 version, really?
That's what it says. Maximum of 87 Minecraft Xbox 360 edition achievements, 20 without DLC.
Look at that. So they do have the same achievement lists.
Yep.
Just slightly less, because you don't get as many achievements in the 360 version.
No, it's the same.
Same.
87, 87.
Yep.
No. I mean, like, points-wise.
Let's see.
I don't know.
It's 2,025 for the 360 version.
Mm-hmm. Are they?
Unless they redistributed after
2,025 for the One edition.
Oh,
Yep,
they did.
that's the same.
Okay. So the base version of Minecraft for the 360 must have, well, because it only had 400, presumably.
Yeah, and there was 30. Yeah, it looks like there was 50 in the One edition in the base game.
Okay.
Interesting. Well, okay.
Well,
So, new update? Any achievements? We don't know. I guess I would assume that wasn't the full. Anyway, interesting. Great. Okay, news done. Let's move on. We've been going long, but we got 3 questions from the community, and 2 of them we forgot from last year. Last year. Oh my gosh, it is getting late. One that I missed from last time, and one was some feedback on last show, because we had a lot of conversations about, for whatever reason, why Randy doesn't like Diablo, and anyway. So Kronos, I just wanted to read this because I think Kronos had a really great comment in terms of some backstory on our Blizzard conversation. So I'll read what Kronos posted in Discord. He said, "Hey, massive wall of feedback incoming. Apologies if I destroyed the character limit. The podcast was basically made for me. First, a Diablo question, an extensive Blizzard discussion, then an extended dig into the question I posed. Thank you for your consideration." Okay, so here we go. Diablo 4. So there's this dude, Riker, a professional Diablo player. He did an excellent piece on why the Diablo 4 rumors are occurring. Blizzard is hiring new coders for a Diablo project. However, a careful read of the position descriptions and code experience that they are looking for indicates a very different take on Diablo. Somewhat ironically, based on where the podcast discussion was between Randy and Proulx went, it sounds like they might actually be developing a World of Diablo type game. So a mashup, and this is me talking now, a mashup of obviously World of Warcraft and Diablo. So he continues. A Diablo MMO has been rumored on many occasions, and particularly with Blizzard, it is important to note that even if this is true, there's no guarantee that the game will ever be published. Blizzard canned a version of Diablo 3 several years into development a long time ago, and they famously canned the StarCraft Ghost game, which is definitely vaporware. As for what a huge Diablo fan like me wants, well, Diablo 4 to bring, assuming it were actually Diablo 4 and not World of Diablo, is a return to the storytelling of Diablo 2. There isn't much story in these other games, and that's just fine. But Diablo 2 did an excellent job of telling its minimal story very well. Diablo 3 does not. It It is also a fun game, but the story is terrible. The characters not suited well for the story or the world. It wasn't all bad. Covetous Shen and Zultan Kuhl are tremendous additions, but their story arc was just a travesty. Mitsun should be ashamed. Fix the story and atmosphere issues that Freem wanted or mentioned will get fixed as well. The game is pretty dark enough and is dripping with everything that Diablo needs, but the story is so hokey that nothing sticks. So, Proulx, what World of Diablo, does that do anything for you?
Not really.
Is it because you don't like MMOs, you don't like Diablo, or you really want a World of Warcraft, or you think that would be better, or what? Where are you coming from?
Yeah, no, I like Diablo. I don't know. I don't care, honestly. Frankly, I like Diablo 3 how it is. I enjoyed that experience. World of Warcraft is take it or leave it. Doesn't matter. I don't know. I wouldn't want them to sacrifice the gameplay experience of Diablo at the altar of an MMO. Not that I think they would. I think that's kind of a I don't know, pie in the sky kind of idea. I don't think that's. I really don't think that's what they're going to do. Yeah. But no, I don't know. I mean, if they did it, it wouldn't really offend me. It wouldn't bother me too much. But I guess I'd rather have Diablo 4 than World of Diablo. But that's entirely based on personal preference. That's just me. So maybe other people feel differently.
Kingsman, do you feel
Proulx.
differently?
I just don't really care.
I 100% do not want a World of Diablo. I think that would be a travesty. I'm sure it would be immensely popular, but gosh, I really don't like MMOs. Yet, I feel like Sea of Thieves is effectively an MMO, in its concept. But no, games that require that level.
Empty multiplayer online.
Hey-o! Take that, Rare.
Like Sea of Thieves, zing zing.
Yeah, that's what he said in your face. I do not care for MMOs, and I certainly don't want Diablo, a game that I actually enjoy playing. Maybe if they expanded the, okay, I'm gonna kind of backtrack because it would be kind of cool to, instead of having your little 4-man crew, to like have 8. You know, how much fun would it be to just rip through a dungeon with 8 people? Like, that'd be kind of fun, but I'd rather that just be those be instances and not necessarily. I don't even know. Maybe because I just feel like you'll get like the Destiny type thing where it's like, hey, or Division, let's all get in the hub world. Let's all party in Tristram. Yeah. Look at all these, Devil Killer 69 and, Bloody Stump 420. Woo! They're just going to run around town being, idiots. And then I definitely don't want that nonsense. But if it was like, hey, you know what? Actually, we've expanded the co-op, so you can have these instances where, we'll pull in some other people. We'll kind of do some raids. We'll, make the party size bigger, introduce some other mechanics versus just the current gameplay. Like, yeah, okay, I could see a world, maybe kind of a World of Diablo there, if that's why you need them, to get the infrastructure, so you could have drop in, drop out to be a little bit more fluid. I don't know. Because at this point, you still have that. Like, you can, even now, we're doing bounties on the Diablo 3, and it's like all 4 of us can go to different bounties. We're not sharing the experience pool or anything, but we can just go to a different spot and each kill the individual boss, get credit as a group. So, but it's capped at 4. Maybe if you get more people, you build it up a little bit. That might be okay. I don't know. I got to see it on paper. I am less interested in that. We had a question from one of my new Twitter followers, Full Time Gamers. That's TYME, Gamers with a Z. They ask, what games have you 1K'd, but you still go back to play for fun? if those even exist. Are there any? Kingsman, do you have any games you've won Cade yet you still go back and play with?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go replay games if they have a good story. I went back and replayed Red Dead Redemption, as mentioned before. I really enjoyed it, so I went back and replayed it. I haven't finished all the DLC, but in terms of the main base game, Minecraft, of course, I go back and rework my world and whatnot, but that's really for other people to come in, want to earn achievements, right. And so if it's an open world game that still introduces content, I will continue to go back to the game even if I've earned all the achievements.
Sure, that makes sense. Proulx, what about you? Do you is there anything there that you would go back for?
I mean, we've talked about this before. Rocket League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one that came to my mind as well.
Yeah.
At least in terms of, the number one, I do have a secondary achievement or a secondary game that I have revisited, and it was Destiny. Because there was, playing with some friends, there's things to do, the raids are fun, you can always get your character better. And so I played that a decent amount after I got the full completion on the base game before Destiny 2 came out. But now that that's not the case anymore. I am done with that.
Yeah, I just
so
think
there you
we're
have it.
Kind of the wrong crowd to ask about that particular thing. We earn our 1,000. We'd like to go on to the next game, earn more achievements.
Totally. It's the only thing that's bringing me back to, other games is that they're just because my son is an achievement hunter. So if he's like, hey, I want to play Rayman Legends again, it's like, okay, how about I just buy it for you on the Switch? so you don't take up my Xbox. That's about it for that. The last question comes from Planting42. And he asks, which PlayStation or Switch game would you like to see on the Xbox? Now, on my friend feed, I did get a couple comments. Facial LaFleur says Bloodborne, Horizon Zero Dawn for the PlayStation, Bayonetta 2, and some Dragon Quest games from the Switch. I'm fine with Zelda and Mario staying first party. Big L says, hold on. As far as PlayStation games go, any Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Secret of Mana, the remakes that are for PlayStation 3 or 4, but not Xbox. That's what he wants to see. Proulx, what do you want to see come over from PlayStation and or the Switch?
So literally anything from Nintendo would be fine with me.
Yeah.
Absolutely anything. Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Smash Brothers.
I want to hear 3 very specific games. Because I agree. I'm with you. Like, if you just pulled pretty much all of Nintendo's first party over, I would give you a massive thumbs up. But that's such a cop-out. I want your top 3 games.
It's still easy. Smash Brothers, because, well, it's Smash. And,
Cha-ching.
And it includes everything. Pokemon and Metroid would be my top 3.
Okay. Close for me, but let's stay with the Switch. Because Kingsman, I want to hear what you have to say from the Switch. Give me 3 games that you want to see ported over from the Switch.
Oh, well, I mean, I haven't owned a Wii U or a Switch, so I couldn't really tell you. But
so go classic.
In terms of Nintendo, yeah, how about Pokemon Gold?
Okay.
Maybe like a Can I do like a Donkey Kong collection?
Well, what does that entail? I mean, sure, if you're gonna make a remaster.
Well, yeah,
fine.
I want like Donkey Kong 64. I want Donkey Kong Country.
I don't know if you want Donkey Kong 64 really. But I'll give you a Donkey Kong game. Sure, I'll give you that.
Okay, give me Donkey Kong Country. I like Country.
Okay.
And I like Yoshi's Island as well.
Yeah, that was a fun game. That was kind of a fun game.
But I don't really like Nintendo games. There's meh.
That's bizarre. For me, Proulx, I echo your sentiment on Smash Brothers 100%. Yes, please. But I have 2 other games that I want to see. Breath of the Wild. I've been watching my son play it. I really wish there were achievements in that. He was even like, he's just like, oh, I just don't know what to do anymore. I've kind of done a lot, but I don't think I'm ready for the final boss yet. I said, listen, but I mean, that sounds like that game needs achievements because that would tell you exactly what you still need to do. He's like, well, they kind of have achievements. They're called quests. I'm like, no. That's not achievements. Well, but the other ones are like side quests. Like, that's totally different, bud. That is so far from the achievement system that, yes, those are things you do. I get that, but that's not the achievement system. And so he's like just wandering the world. And it's like, I wish you had some direction. Suffice it to say, though, that game looks awesome, and I would totally love to play it. And then the third one is Mario Kart. I want to play Mario Kart on my Xbox and earn achievements.
Ooh, good choice.
Game is super fun. Okay, so there's our Nintendo properties. Metroid is a great answer. I very much like that. Would 2D or the first person?
Oh, can you go wrong? Can you lose in this scenario? No, you can't. They're both amazing.
But if you said 2D, I would say, like, would Axiom Verge or another, like any other Metroidvania-style game suffice, or does it have to be Metroid? And then, first person, it's like, yeah, I think it's interesting, but, there's some other games that do similar mechanics. I think that's why, for me, as much as I love Metroid, I think I'm okay saying that I would rather a Mario Kart, even though there are other kart games. I love the whimsy of Mario Kart. Anyway, so PlayStation. Proulx, you're just itching to fire off some games, so let's hear it.
Yes, I cannot wait for. No, I would love, and we talked about this in Discord earlier today, but I really do want that new Spider-Man game, like, really bad.
Yes.
I really want that game.
Looks so good.
Yeah. that's honestly, like, God of War looks interesting. Like, there's a lot of stuff I would enjoy playing for sure, no doubt.
Yeah.
Nothing I yearn or desire for. Too bad.
Sure. Okay. I got a couple, but Kingsman, do you have anything?
Again, as everything that's been already listed by everyone, those are the games that I would want to play. I really want to play Horizon Zero Dawn. I really want to play God of War, but we have enough games on our own system that, I'll just keep on gaming on.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. Me personally, I got to go for stuff that's coming out. Days Gone, zombie game. Yeah, want to play that. I think number one that I really upset that I missed and really want to experience is Last of Us. I hear so much about that, and I know it would be a game that I absolutely adore. Zombies, awesome narrative. It's excellent production. Like, I absolutely feel like that's something. Spider-Man's a great one. Shadow of the Colossus. Never played that. Please, that sounds like a lot of fun. I want to get in on that. And the theory of it really intrigues me, but the fact that I know I would never be able to go back and actually play it because it's too daunting and consuming, the Persona series. But, like, just watching some gameplay on that looks super interesting, and I think that would be super fun to play. So those are what I would like PlayStation to share with us on. And with that, gentlemen, I think that's it for the show. I think we got it all taken care of. Nice, decent, healthy conversation about Sea of Thieves. So that's it. I want to thank everybody for listening again. Thank you so much for making this show possible. I've been Brandon, and to all of you achievement hunters and Gamerscore junkies out there, thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next episode.
Z to Z Podcast presents Review Zed.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Review Zed. We are your Team 2 here.
Team
It's
2.
me. Yeah, Team 2. It's me, Proulx, and of course, joining me is Mr. Mighty Mango. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
You know, I can't complain. I had a pretty good week.
That's good.
Which you'll hear about. So we have a bit of a bigger game than we're used to, but before we start there, let's do the real quick. Give everybody a sneak peek at what we got coming up in the great G Task.
The G-Tax bonus. That's right, everybody. For the bonus this week, which you're getting here 3 to 4 hours early, is called Raise the Bar, this is an individual challenge, which is to end the scoring period with at least 5,000 TA as an individual. So not team, individual. So this is going to be a high scoring week, everybody.
Yeah. He's really trying to get us to blow all those points, huh?
Yeah, I think he's really trying to do that, seeing what happens towards the end. So kudos to Warren on being creative.
Oh, yeah. Every week it's always interesting. Do you think you'll go for this one?
I think I'll be able to do this one. Being on vacation this last weekend made it a little bit difficult for the story one. But I'm going to get it done. I'm going to get it.
Nice. Yeah, we should hopefully get that tomorrow. But okay, so on to the review. We are covering a different game this week. Surprisingly, it's not 2D or sprite-based or anything like that. This is an actual meaty game.
Real game.
Yeah. So can you tell us what it is?
Yeah, I'll talk about it. I'll introduce the game. It's called Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. It was published and developed by Ninja Theory, who is the same company that made Enslaved and then Devil May Cry, the remake in 2013. They also made Heavenly Sword on the PlayStation 3, for those that might have remembered that game. Was an early release, but it was kind of pretty. It was released on Steam and PlayStation 4 August 8th of 2017, and we just got it recently on Xbox April 11th, 2018.
Yeah, so this is I actually didn't know this was the Enslaved people. I knew it was the Devil May Cry people.
Yep, same people.
Interesting.
TA has it kind of confusing because they have Ninja Theory listed for Senua, and then they have Ninja Theory Ltd listed for the other games, but it's the same group of people.
Oh, gotcha. So let's get the first thing out. This is like a AAA title, essentially.
AAA title on a $10 million budget, which I think is pretty awesome. Yeah,
and I mean, it shows. It is a very pretty game.
Very pretty. 4K graphics, so it's Xbox One X enhanced. The water effects, the lighting effects, the colors, sometimes the lack of colors.
I was going to say, not a super colorful game.
When the colors are there, they pop. They really pop. But
yes, it is very, very pretty game. So
beautiful game.
Let's cover now. The game is about, and I don't know if we're going to avoid spoilers completely.
Yeah.
But it was their stated goal, the developer stated goal, to make this game about mental illness. So it's a very interesting experience. It's I guess you'd call it it's just a regular 3D sort of puzzle / combat game, right?
Yeah, TA has it listed as a hack and slash. It's not a hack and slash. It's got some combat, but I think most of the game is really puzzle driven. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, you'll be walking into a room, and then you'll have a brief encounter with a few enemies. But it's not like your traditional hack and slash where that's the entire focus of the game. The game is much more on the story and the puzzles.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. I would reclassify it as adventure.
Adventure sounds about right. I'd go with that as well.
Yeah.
So the achievements, we could talk about that, obviously, are actually really easy to cover.
Yeah, totally easy. They're all story-based.
Yep, except for one
collectible one. There are lore stones,
yep,
is what they're called.
I think there are 44?
44 of them.
Yeah. And they're pretty obvious. There's a few that are hidden, so you'll either have to play this game twice to get that or follow a guide for the lore stones. Other than that, it's a short game, so if you wanted to play through it twice, it wouldn't wouldn't be terrible. I think it was about 7 hours or so.
6 to 8 hours is what TA says, and I'll agree with that. I think if you have a guide, for sure. But the game's short. It's good, but it's short.
It is good. I was a little sour on the game in the beginning, I'll be honest with you.
I was too, at first.
So it's super depressing. It's grimdark. Yes. And like nobody in this game smiles or laughs or has as an enjoyable time. And that's just my personal preference, but that is not my cup of tea. So
I kind of enjoyed the darkness. I mean, it takes place back kind of in Norse times, so Viking times.
Yeah.
They refer to Odin and Loki, things of that sort. But it's a very grim time with humanity. There's a lot of death and destruction and darkness.
Yeah, demon things and. Yeah, it's interesting because it tells a lot of the same story that Thor Ragnarok, which came out last summer, tells. And obviously, it's a very different tonally. So it was just interesting to see all those different. I know those things are obviously based in Norse mythology, but just very different experiences. So yeah, you had to. So the game tells you right away as soon as you start up that you need to play this game with headphones. Yeah, I never did, but
see. I didn't either. I was like, oh, whatever. I've seen that before on games. So I just played it with surround sound and it was fine. And I was like, I want to really immerse myself in the game. So I put on some headphones and wow, it totally captures you into the game, into the environment, to everything. Because one of the elements with being mental illness is there's voices.
Mm-hmm.
The voices are the story. They are what drives the game along.
Yeah.
So putting the headphones on, it just immersed me completely in the game, and I totally turned away my opinion on it because at first I thought, it's pretty, it's all right. As soon as I could like really envelop myself in the game, fantastic. So I highly, highly recommend playing this game with headphones on.
Yeah, I didn't do that just because I don't have gaming headphones that I play with. But the game I'd say about 50% of the way through, it took a turn for me. At the beginning, I was frustrated. Even though the combat isn't very frequent, there are some really annoying things about it. Like you can get, when multiple enemies start coming at you, the game automatically locks you onto an enemy, and you have no idea that there are other enemies around you. I guess the voices kind of tell you, but not usually in time for you to do anything about it.
That and at first you really don't know what the controls are, so you kind of have to wing it.
Yes, that was the other frustrating thing was the fact that there's no tutorial at all, which, okay, not a huge deal, especially in the beginning because you're just walking around. But then when you get into combat, like I had to press start to look at the controls so I knew what all the buttons did.
I had to do the exact same thing. Otherwise, I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, and if their goal was not to break immersion, then I would say that they failed because if you have to press start in the middle of the game, that's way more disruptive than just a tutorial. Yeah,
I think that was their idea, but I think just a little hint as to what to do would have been extremely helpful. And Ninja Theory in their previous games would tell you what to do. I mean, Devil May Cry had press this for the combo, do this for this move at the beginning of the game. So I don't know why they just didn't do a little bit of that. Didn't break anything from DMC's storyline.
Yeah, it's weird. And in the second boss battle, you are given an item that, again, no explanation. It can rewind or slow time down. Yep. And I had no idea. I mean, I was just fighting that guy forever until I accidentally hit right trigger, because up to that point, it didn't do anything in combat.
Yeah, they call it the focus button, because you need to focus on items in the game.
Yeah, so
it's like a zoom in.
It's a couple of those. I understand why they were doing what they were doing, and it makes sense from that perspective. But as an actual gameplay element, it was a little frustrating. And then early on, they introduce you to the concept of permadeath. So when you first start the game, it really feels like it's stacked against you. Like they don't give you controls, and by the way, you're punished every time you die. Ultimately, could lead up to your game being lost, which is what they tell you. So it's at the beginning, I was unhappy with that experience. The story eventually, I think, is what kind of got me into it. And then once I got into a rhythm with the combat, where it wasn't too concerning anymore, then I had a good time.
Did you adjust the difficulty at all?
I did, yes.
Yeah, I did the same thing because it
Yep.
comes on auto, which I guess tailors to your ability to fight, and I was getting frustrated, so I just put it on easy.
Yep, that's exactly the same thing I did.
Because it didn't take anything away from the game itself, because the game, the combat is kind of secondary to everything else.
Exactly, and it's better, again, when they tell you in the beginning, hey, if you die too many times, you'll lose your save, that you're going to play more cautiously, you're going to be more aware of that sort of stuff. Eventually, it turned out not to be an issue, but in the beginning, it really was daunting. So, but overall, I turned around with my thoughts and my opinions on the game. From a rocky start to really enjoying it, even up to the end. So,
yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the game. Now you've finished the game; you've gotten all 1,000 in it.
Yep.
But I have not because of my vacation, kind of intercepting everything. But no, I plan on finishing the game because it really is excellent. Now it does have a sale price at $29.95. So for a download only game, I know that might sound like a little bit steep, but I think the game is worth it. I mean, it's a very well produced game.
It is. It's one thing we didn't talk about was they have some live action thrown in there with the so the main character Senua is mocapped, very well done.
Yeah, very well done.
And by actually, I watched a documentary about it. It wasn't even an actress who did it. It was one their video editor.
Yeah,
she stood in for that character for a few times, and eventually they just gave her the role. But anyways, and then some of the other characters are done as actual video clips, and it was kind of a little jarring to me, but it was interesting.
Yeah, the way how they did it, it was kind of cool. And I think I watched a little bit of that same documentary. They were talking about how they wanted to get the graphics into the game. They tried using the Kinect. Then they tried using
really?
other video devices trying to get in. They tried using like video splitting and all sorts of stuff. And then the motion caption was done in their boardroom.
Yeah, I saw that, which I thought was really interesting.
Which is hilarious. They didn't even get a real studio. They just did it in their boardroom. So
yeah.
And
it's really solid stuff, really good mocap stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they really tried to do this game on a budget. I think they were told, this is what we want to do, and this is all the money you get, and good luck.
Yeah, if $30 is steep, feels steep, but it's not. You're not going to be cheated out of your money.
No.
If you can get it on sale, certainly that's preferable, but...
Yeah, if it goes on sale, I mean, I would definitely say it's a must-buy, but if you want a unique, different story, one that actually highlights mental illness, which this game really dives into it. And I don't want to get into any spoilers because if I bring up anything about how it's talked about, it would ruin the game. But
yeah, really there's a lot to it. Game. Yeah. Yep, and definitely worth playing. And the achievements aren't hard to boot. Like we said, you get them all just through playing through the game naturally, except the one collectible, which if you find a good guide for that you don't mind either reading or keeping up with, is super easy. So yeah, just enjoy the experience of the game because it's something that most other games aren't gonna give you that.
Yeah, I would put this as one of those kind of special games where the last few games we've kind of reviewed are kind of the run of the mill, what you expect on like Xbox for like a cheap digital only game. This is a little bit of a different story. Yep.
So that was Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, and check it out. It's on the Xbox Live Marketplace now.
Yeah, and after that, we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Later.
Hey everybody, it's time for another community roundup. Let's start again with the GTASC 2018. This was period 16 that occurred on May 2nd. We, from the team side, the top Zeds once again, Eat, Sleep, Complete, Repeat, Smirnoff Redemption. They have now done 9 of these. I feel like it's got to be more than that. Anyway, 9 times, top team. Congratulations, guys. Near miss. Well, it was Super Sandwiches, the team of Big L and Matriarch. They were 9 places over elimination, about 200 TA. We had 2 teams eliminated from listeners here. 2 Scrub Gamers and a Microphone, the team of Reboard Insanity and Radiant Viper. And Squid Kids, the team of Weasel Pizza and Brutal Guitar. They were the last spot right at elimination. They missed out by less than 100 TA. So bummer on that. As far as the individuals go, top Zed for the week was What the Fug. He got 45th place overall. Congratulations there. Near misses, Well, it was Keith, 27, 11, 79, 5 places above elimination, less than 40 TA after using his bonus. So good bonus use on that one. We did have 3 people eliminated. We lost Oz Bundy Boy, Cherry Coke Kid 23, and Raptor XTMX. It is now May, so you should be well into your random to-do list. The new lists are up. We will probably next show do the drawing for the winners of the month of April. And give out prizes. So if you're not in the random to-do list, this is a great opportunity, beginning of the month. Brand new 4-month little session here. And so, yeah, if you listen to the What the L segment that happens after this piece, they do a little bit more deeper dive on this contest. But absolutely get in. Lists are always free to get. All you have to do is put a request in at forum.z2z.com, and we'd be so happy to give you one. And you know what? All you have to do to keep getting one every month is unlock at least one achievement. Or you can just go ahead and ask us again if you got a busy month, right? Summer's here for the Northern Hemisphere, and people want to get outside, not play video games, which I think is crazy. There's bugs outside. Why would you want to go outside? But anyway, that's what we have. If you haven't been to our forums, not only can you get signed up for the random to-do list, but you can also get signed up for our community challenge. And this month, it is, actually the day of recording here is May the 4th, which is the impetus for doing our community challenge, Star Wars games. The national Star Wars holiday, May the 4th. Similar to last month, where we had Tom Clancy games. The Star Wars games, you get 1 entry for every achievement you earn in a Star Wars game. You get 5 entries for any previously completed Star Wars game. And you get 10 entries if you make a completion this month of a Star Wars game. Pretty darn simple. The other contest that we run on a monthly basis is the Gamertag Challenge. So last month we had 2 Gamertags. This month for May we only have 1. It is Matthew00. So that's MATTHEWH00. And of course the zeros, they can be any number, right? The number 1, the number 9, doesn't matter. But any game that has a number in it. The other ones, you need them to start with. So a game that starts with M, A, couple of T's. Good luck on that one. Those are the 2 monthly contests we run, and then the random to-do list, of course. But we also, if you guys aren't familiar, we do yearly contests as well, like Freemhole's Completions Challenge. There are 30 games you need to complete in a year that fit under certain themes. Go ahead and look that up on the forums as well. The final thing that we do as a community, kind of on a global stance, is our game of the month. As you just heard on this previous show here, we tied a bow on Sea of Thieves. So a lot of fun we had with that with the community, and now in May we will be doing Bard's Gold. So there's a separate game chat at our Discord. We can head over to discord.io/Z2Z, and we can talk about the game, talk about your experiences. We'd love to hear from you and how you've been getting on with it. If you guys end up streaming it through Mixer or Twitch or whatever, let us know, and we can upload the video to the Z2Z community YouTube page, and we'll put together a Game of the Month playlist with all of the people in the community, friends, things like that. If you're curious about what that looks like, I've uploaded all my videos because I do a regular stream on Sunday nights. So every Sunday night, 10 p.m. Central Time, Freem Standard Time, I'll stream the game for a couple hours. It's like 10:30 I get started over at mixer.com/Freemhole, or is it backslash? Whatever, /Freemhole, FREAMWHOLE. Come take a look, watch, have some fun, join in the chat, and watch me play through a game that I did not vote for. Hopefully it's good, and maybe I'll even get to completion this month. I got Teslagrad, although I missed it doing in the month. I did finish Manuel Samuel during the month. Of course, Sea of Thieves nobody's completed it yet because it's ridiculous. But we'll see. Bard's Gold, and that's about the right window for finishing it. There's 4 Sundays. So every Sunday night, come take a watch. Otherwise, head over to our YouTube, youtube.com/Z2Z. Finally, we do a monthly Patreon giveaway, so I want a huge thank you to all of our patrons. We have a brand new patron in Facial LaFleur. Thank you so much. That when that gets at the end of the month, when that goes through, you will get a gold name in our Discord chat to signify how awesome and special you are, and you get an entry or multiple entries based on your contribution level to win a retail Xbox game each month. So, we'll do that poll next week. Good luck to everyone who donated in the month of April. Thank you so much for that. Or I guess technically it's May's. We couldn't do the show without you guys. So thank you. And that being said, if you can't support us financially, we totally understand. It's a big ask, so if you could just spread the word and let others know how cool of a community we have, that would be wonderful too. And if you're not part of the community or you haven't been over to our Discord chat in a while, you guys should come over. It is super fun. Lots of activity over there, I promise. You can head over to discord.io/Z2Z. It's all one word, ZEDTOZED. And join it. You can either, join in the general chat, have some fun, talk games, talk whatever, or, find people who can help you boost some games, right? It's hit or miss with the TA boosting sessions. Yeah, you can cast a larger net, but, sometimes you get in with some randoms. Maybe it's not so great. Our community is fantastic, and we're incredibly helpful. So if there's something you're looking for, a game that you want some work on, head over there. You heard on the show my Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. That's finishing up, so we're getting ready to move on. A new Thursday night game. We're still doing Battleborn on Wednesdays. There's lots of multiplayer games that we're going to focus on as a community. So you guys should head over. It is wonderful. And with that, I'm going to kick it over to the What the L segment, provided they didn't go too long and we cut them from the show. Right, guys? Yeah. Anyway, listen up. It's awesome. Thanks for listening to my bit. We'll talk to you guys later. See ya.